Hey, Brendan, welcome in. For those of you coming in for the football game, hey, Brendan, I see you in there. Thank you very much. Let me fix the chat. I've got the wrong chat on the screen right now, but let's see. Let me change the chat link. Now it should be the correct one. There we go. That's correct. This is the Cool Kids Sandbox. That's right, Marduk. This is the top of the line right here. Let's see. American football. Seahawks versus Texans. Okay, I've got to run to the toilet. I'll be right back. They haven't kicked off, but I'll be right back. It should start on the screen in just a moment. But until then, let me move it over to the let me pull up the scoreboard right quick. Where's my live scoreboard? There it is. Okay. I'm going to put this on the board for now because this shows scores for both the games, but I'm going to run to the toilet. I'll be right back, guys and gals. Okay. All right. Not quite sure what's going on here. I still see a commercial. Just came back from the baño. For some reason, I'm not getting the. For some reason, I'm getting Motor Vision. Live TV right now is showing Motor Vision for some reason. Yeah, I see that, Marduk. For some reason, the channel I selected there's a commercial right now. Actually, that's not the screen I wanted to show you. Where's it at? There it is. Yeah, for some reason it was showing the Motorsports network when I clicked on the Texans game. But I believe that right now I think that I have the right game, the right channel. We'll see. It's on commercial break right now. First down Schultz. Texans at the 22-yard line. Okay, for some reason it's showing Commanders and Cowboys. Why is that? Why is it showing Commanders and Cowboys? Tampa Bay. What in the world's going on here? Give me one moment. For some reason, it is when I click on the Texans game, it's taking me to Motorsports channel. Do you see that? Do you see that? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you kidding me? Is there a problem here? It's taking me sack in the end zone. Are you kidding me? So what in the world is going on right now? I don't understand. There seems to be another technical issue. So it's not just YouTube and all these other channels. I'm being sent to the wrong channel. When I click on the Texans Seattle game, Texans Seahawks game, it's taking me to Motorsports, a Motorsports channel. Right now, all channels. No, not all channels. American football. In Japanese. Let me try this. Oh, I see. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm sorry for the delay, guys. I'm trying to get this worked out. What's going on here? Okay. One second. Should be done in just a second. Working on it. Yeah, I found out what the problem is. It looks like the Texans have the ball on the 44-yard line. Is that right? I apologize for the delay. Apparently, there was a technical issue that I had to figure out, and I believe that I do have it figured out, but I'm in the process of fixing it. So give me just a moment. Big game. This would be the wants me to verify my account, of course. So gotta get my phone. There it is. Yes, confirm. Please confirm. Just stop. I think my password is good enough. I don't need to confirm. Did you enter your password and try to log in? See if we got this worked out. Should be fixed. Okay. Now it says it's ready to go. It says it's fixed. So let me pull it back up. Try again. All right. So I've got it on the screen now, but it's showing a commercial. Is it really on commercial right now? It shows that the Seahawks are at the 12-yard line. Houston 9 at the Houston 9-yard line. Did they call a timeout? What in the world's going on? Okay, so they took back the safety. Thank you, for Marduk, for letting me know. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. I see that the Seahawks have the ball 2nd and 7 at Houston's 9-yard line, but I'm seeing nothing but commercials right now. Is there a reason for that? Let me go back to the live TV and see what's going on. Are they really in a commercial right now? Can't be. This was so easy last time. And now this time, it's so difficult. Schedule. American football. Okay. That's the right stream. I'm still not seeing the game on the screen. It's just showing a commercial. You see that? It's just showing commercials over and over again. I'm not sure what's going on. Try again. Why? Well, now I'm getting something. All right. Texans being Texans, Tim says. Well, we got 7:28 left in the first quarter, so it's not too big of a deal. It seems that the Seahawks are going to kick off. They scored and are up 7-0. It's nice to see that the changes to my overlay are working, but for some reason, the actual previews on the game were not working properly. Still getting commercials. Finally, 7-0. 7:28 left. Well, then I didn't miss anything. Apparently, the English version of the game. Look at that, man. Talk about barely getting in. Hmm. There's the kickoff. Past the 20, the 25, the 30, 35 steps out of bounds before he gets to the 40. Houston's going to have pretty decent starting field position. So I'm finally got the game going correctly, but it is only in Japanese. And it doesn't matter to you. But the Texans will start off on the 37-yard line. Seven minutes and 22 seconds left in the first. It looks like my broadcast is behind what's on the screen. For some reason, the English broadcast is not working. So I'm listening to it in Japanese. That's fine for me, but it doesn't matter to you guys and gals. First and 10, Stroud hands it off right up the middle. It looks like Marks. He picks up about 2. Second and 8. No, that's not Marks. That's Chubb, I think. Yeah, they're showing the play earlier. How did they not call that down in the end zone? How is that not a safety? It looked like, did his knee come down before it went in the end zone, I wonder? We'll see. Second and 8. I'll take a look at it later. Curious to see how they didn't call that a safety, but it's okay. Second and 8. shotgun. Stroud is back. He throws it over the right side. Now that is Marks. He cuts it back inside. Did he step out or did he make it to the first down marker? He's going to be right at a first down. Good cut move over by Marks. Went around that outside defender. Yeah, he didn't step out. He stayed in, but I think he might have been a little shy of a first down. We'll see. No. Yeah, that's right. 3rd and 1. Basically 3rd and inches. Stroud under center. 3rd and 1. Got a couple men in the backfield. Goes right up the middle. Marks is shut down. He loses a couple of yards. It's 4th and 3. I do appreciate you guys and gals joining in. I'm trying to switch over as I can to check out the Blue Jays game right now. It's in the bottom of the 7th. Looks like they have 2 runners on with no outs. Just to let you know, just give you an update. It's 3-1 Mariners still. 4th and 2. And a long 2 it is. Texans are going to punt it away. Here it comes. He lets it go, and it's going to bounce into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. So while we're waiting on that, let's jump over to Brian Wu having some difficulty with the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 7th. 8 hits. Andre Jimenez at the plate with no outs. 2 runners on. Big opportunity right here. Here's the pitch from Wu. The crowd's on their feet. He shows bunt, pulls back. Ball 1. Yeah, when you try to get multiple things going at the same time, it takes a little bit of work, but it seems like the technical issues have been all over the place today, not just for me, but for everyone. Different streaming platforms and YouTube and MLB TV, and now this Japanese TV service I'm using for the Texans game. So the bunt goes down. Barger over to 3rd. Falefa to 2nd. 1 down. Jimenez gets the sacrifice bunt for the Blue Jays. Go Texans and Jays. Check this out. Brian Wu's coming out. They're not going to let Brian Wu pitch to George Springer. They're bringing in Bizzardo. So there's a break. It's the bottom of the 7th, guys and gals. For those interested in the results of the Mariners Blue Jays game, right now it's 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Runners on 2nd and 3rd for the Blue Jays. 1 out. George Springer's at the plate. They just took Brian Wu out. They will put in Edward Bizzardo. Good news is I finally got the English version of the game going for the Texans, so I can understand everything they're saying now. I don't know why. I don't know why it wasn't working, but now it's working. Seahawks have the ball 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Going to be a fake handoff on 1st down. He drops back, throws it downfield. Got a guy wide open all the way down to the 49-yard line. Very first play. 29 yards. 29 yards. First and 10 on the 49. Cooper Kupp. Interesting name. kind of cup do you drink out of? I drink out of a Koopa cup. Another fake handoff. He steps up in the pocket. He might go down. He lobs it out of play. Throws it to the bench. Was he outside the tackle box? I don't think so. No call yet for grounding. But he was right in there. He was right in the pocket. I thought he was about to get sacked, and he just lobbed it out of play. It's 2nd and 10. Darnold. And Bizzardo on the mound for the Mariners facing George Springer. Here's the next play. Darnold hands it off, goes right up the middle, and he picks up about 8 yards. 3rd and 2. Big, important stop coming up right here for the Texans. They need to shut that crap down and get the ball back. 1 ball, no strikes to Springer. Here comes the pitch. That's hard. That's hard. It might be gone. It's a homer. A Springer dinger. No kidding. It's a 3-run homer by George Springer. Springer hits a 3-run homer of Edward Bizzardo, and the Blue Jays take the lead 4-3. 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th. I kid you not. Holy cow. The crowd goes crazy. The Blue Jays take the lead 4-3 from George freaking Springer. How do you like that? The second pitch from Edward Bizzardo. They take out Brian Wu, put in Bizzardo, and on the second pitch, George Springer goes deep to give the Blue Jays the 4-3 lead. How about that? 4th and 1. The Seahawks are going for it. Come on. Texans, shut this down. It looks like he's trying to draw him off sides. A little push, and they've got it. 1st down. 1st and 10 at the Texans' 38-yard line. Holy freaking cow. All right, now we need the Texans to get it in gear. The Blue Jays just got it in gear. So I finally got my stream in gear. The Blue Jays got it in gear. Springer over there taking a rest. Look at that. Now the Texans need to get in gear. Come on. Darnold under center. 1st and 10. 2:25 left in the 1st. Here's the snap. Fakes handoff, and he pitches it back. They might get him in the backfield. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but a busted play either way. 2nd and 10. Yeah, I think my play call is behind my scoreboard. My scoreboard is ahead of me. There's nothing much I can do about that. I've got the best live feed that I can get. From what I can see, it is 1st and 5. Ball on the 32-yard line. Here comes the snap. Darnold hands it off. Run right up the middle. And he gets a 1st down. He picks up about 7 yards, maybe? 1st and 10. This is pretty easy. Pretty easy 1st down. A little too soft on the defense there. He goes right up the middle and gets the 1st down. There's that home run from Springer. Darnell under center. He hands it off right up the middle. He jumps to the outside, but he's taken down in the backfield. It'll be a loss of at least a yard, if not more. He stumbled backwards. I'm not sure where they'll mark it at, but forward progress. Might have lost 1 yard on that play. Good coverage there. He started up the middle and then tried to bounce it out. Didn't work. Lucas is on first base with 2 outs, by the way. 8 hits now for the Blue Jays. They are now tied with the Mariners for hits. Here's the snap. Darnold drops back. He throws it in the dirt immediately. What was that? He just throws it at the feet of the Texans defenders. He didn't have anywhere to go. 3rd and 11. He completely gave up really quickly. Had a little breakdown in his offensive line there, and he freaked out and just threw it at the feet of the defenders. Good D. Broke through the line. 3rd and long. Third and 11. Let's shut him down right here, guys. At the 25-yard line. He's in the shotgun. Here's the snap. They rush him. He pushes him out to the side. He's going to throw it. No, he's going to run. He's going to get nailed and pushed out of bounds. Woo! Oh, they throw a flag. Are you kidding me? So they hit him when he goes out of bounds, but then they body slam him. And then they call a penalty. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty right there for sure. Are you kidding me? He picked him up and body slammed him on the ground. Are you serious? Okay, so listen, they get the good hit right here. Okay, a good hit. Now look at him. Picks him up. Well, it wasn't too much, but still. Unnecessary roughness either way. Look at that. Picking him up and slamming him. Come on. That was a retarded mistake because that was a 4th down. That was a stop. That was a stop. They were going to have to kick a field goal. And now we give them 15 yards. What are you thinking about there, buddy? Winning is not on his mind, that's for sure. He's just thinking about putting the pain on. Coach, you got to be upset with that one. Pull that guy out and smack him around for a moment. 1st down. The clock is winding down in the 1st quarter. Are they going to get another playoff? It looks like they might. 1st down on the 11-yard line of the Texans. Here's the snap. He throws it, and it's right in the end zone for a touchdown. Of course. 13-0. Big boneheaded mistake right there by the Texans. Well, one of the Texans defenders to grab the quarterback and lift him up and slam him on the ground and give them another 15 yards and a fresh 1st down on what should have been a 4th and long and a field goal. Could be 10-0 right now or 7-0, but instead it's 13-0, about to be 14-0. But something is going on. The refs are discussing something out here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but the refs are out here discussing something. Not sure exactly what's going on, but we'll see. The 7th inning is over, by the way. The Blue Jays leading 4-3. Top of the 8th coming up in just a moment. Waiting on some kind of call right here. What's going on? Unsportsmanlike conduct because he dunked the ball on the field goal post. So they will enforce it. It looks like on the kickoff. Or, no, on the extra point? I'd rather have it enforced on the kickoff myself. Boy, they moved this way back. This is going to be a really long extra point. Here's the kick. It's still going to be good. No big deal. So they get it. 14-0. Thanks to the boneheaded defensive play of one guy. At worst, this should have been 10-0. Disappointing result right there because of one boneheaded player. Let's check in on the baseball game. There we go. Chris Bassett is on the mound for the Blue Jays. 1 out. Suarez at the plate. That's strike 1. Top of the 8th. The Texans Seattle Seahawks game is in commercial right now. We'll get back to that in just a moment. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Suarez. Just inside. Could have been a strike. Ball 1. 1-1 is the count. Man, I see I'm missing some, just a few comments here in the chat. TD wide receiver Smith was Stroud's wide receiver at Ohio State. That's interesting. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Suarez. 94 outside. I'll tell you what, though, the Texans can't afford to make boneheaded mistakes. The one guy, just one guy, cost the Texans extra points. 94 miles an hour, check swing, foul, strike 2, rather. 2-2. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 8th. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Suarez. He looks like he's sweating. He must be nervous. Here's the 2-2 pitch. High. Full count. Yeah, I still got the commercial break on. In case you're wondering, where is the Texans info? It's it'll be back up on when we get back from the commercial break. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Suarez. Fouls it off. All right. All right, so we are back at the Texans game, but I'm keeping track of the Blue Jays Mariners game. Yeah, people sitting in the stands watching the baseball game. Kickoff is coming. Speaking of which, there's the pitch to Suarez. Strike 3! Suarez jumps up and down and yells at the umpire. He's in the face of the umpire. Look at that. He calls him out on strike 3 as the Texans come out onto the field. I don't want to see that highlight. Look at this pitch. Woo, beautiful. Calls him up, and he starts jumping up and down like a child and yelling at the umpire. That's out number 2. J.P. Crawford at the plate. Ball 1. Pretty interesting stuff right there. Very interesting indeed. Stroud is back in the shotgun. Here's the first play from scrimmage. He hands it off. Chubb goes up the middle. Picks up about 5. 2nd and 5. Hey, look at this. Bassett, 3 up and 3 down for the Blue Jays in the 8th inning. It's 4-3. Stroud passes it over on the left side. Good pass. First down. 6 yards picked up. 2 plays and a first down. If Gregory were here, he'd like to see that blonde. I know that he likes the beautiful commentators. 14 minutes left in the second. Texans have some ground to cover. They're down by 14. Here's a pass downfield. He's got a man. He's got it. He pulls it in. Flag comes in. Nico Collins has it. Should be a first down. It looks like about a 15-yard pickup. Down to the 41. Great catch. Look at that. He's got a arm all over him, man. He was basically mauling him. He's still mauling him. Even after he went down out of bounds, he's still trying to grab him and scrape at him and get the ball. They're calling some kind of penalty here. Offsetting penalties, of course. Ineligible player downfield and defensive pass interference. Penalties offset. Elijah says, let's go Blue Jays. Please hold them. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Stroud is back. He throws it over the left side, but more of a throwaway than anything. Pocket was collapsing. He felt the pressure and basically threw it away. He had a man in the area, but 2nd and 10. Basically just got rid of it. Second and 10. Stroud in the shotgun. He's back. He's rushed. He gets out of the pocket. He runs forward and throws it. He's got a man. He's right in his hands. Nico Collins right in his hands. He was wide open, and it bounces off his hands. What a great play by Stroud to move up in the pocket, find the man, throw it right into his hands. Look at him. He steps up here, throws it right into his hands, and he drops it. Can you believe that? Right in his belly. 3rd and 10. Come on now. You guys got to wake up. Wake up. Stroud in the shotgun again. Here's the play. He's going to throw it. He's got a man, and it's knocked down. Bad pass. Good coverage by the Seahawks. It's 4th and 10. They will be punting again. Just like that. Take a quick look at the Mariners-Blue Jays game. Clement is at the plate facing Munoz. A runner on with no outs in the bottom of the 8th. Here comes the punt for the Texans. Punting from about the 30-yard line. That's way up there. It's going to come down around the 12. He catches it. He bobbles it. He's going to return it on the opposite side, and he's going to get a few yards all the way back to the 31. They knock him out of bounds there. So that's where the Seahawks will start, at the 31-yard line. Their own 31-yard line. Let's go back over to the Blue Jays-Mariners game. Runner on first with the 1-1 count to Clemente. Or Clement. I always call him Clemente. I just have that desire to call him Clemente. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, the Blue Jays need to drive some more in. They've woken up. There we go. Another hit. That should send a runner over to third. Yes, he bobbles the ball. He tries to get the throw over there, but he bobbled it. It cost him. Nice. Runners on the corners for the Blue Jays with 1 out. No outs. No outs. 0. Clement comes through with an opposite field hit. He had a chance to throw him out at third, but look at it. When he picks it up, he bobbles it. And because of that, he's not able to get the throw there on time. Varsho all the way over to third. Runners on the corners for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th. And that's going to bring up Barger. Commercial break right now for the Texans Seahawks. First pitch to Barger is a ball. Multitasking for the win. Crowds on their feet in Toronto, 99 right in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Toronto with an excellent chance to get at least 1 more run on the board and have a 2-run cushion, if not more. What if they picked up another 3-run homer here? How awesome would that be? Here's the pitch. High and outside. 98 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Barger. We'll be back in just a moment with the Texans game. They're about to be back from commercial. 2 balls and 1 strike with no outs, runners on the corners. Barger rips it down the line. Oh, that's a line drive straight to Naylor, and he steps on first base for the double play. So they still have their runner on third with 2 outs. Easy play for Naylor just to catch it and step on first. All right, we're back. At the Texans-Seahawks game. Handoff right up the middle. Stopped in the backfield. Loses a yard or two. Second down. 12:50 left in the second quarter. Texans defense is going to have to really shut this down 1, 2, 3 and get this offense back on the field. These little mistakes, these little individual mistakes that the Texans are making so far are really costing them. They can't be doing this anymore. 2nd and 11. Darnold in the shotgun. He bobbles the snap, but he throws it over to the right side. They get about 1 yard, and he's completely covered up. But there is a flag on the play. Hopefully it'll be holding. Yep, it is. Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. So would you repeat 2nd down here, or would you give them 3rd down and long? It's either 2nd down and really long, or 3rd down and long. What would you do? Munoz is facing Falefa, by the way, with a runner on third, 1 and 2 count. He hits it up the middle, and it should be a ground out, and it is. So the Blue Jays do not get another run in the 8th. The game's going into the 9th. 2nd and 21. Darnold in the shotgun. He throws it, got a man in the middle, and they trip him up. He's going to be about 7 or 8 yards shy of a first down. That was a good foot tackle there. Shoestring tackle, I guess you could say. Third and 6. Darnold in the shotgun. Here's the snap. That's going to be offsides. No? False start? Did Seattle move first? I hope so. Yes, move them back. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down, so it'll be 3rd and 11. Darnold in the shotgun, 3rd and 11. Here's the snap. He throws it downfield. Totally missed. Overthrew it. 4th and 11. Coverage was there. Darnold overthrew his man. Would have been a difficult catch anyway. Had 2 guys on him. Yeah, not really a good. Yeah, I mean, it was almost there, but still, you had 2 guys covering him. Not a good choice. Seahawks back to punt on 4th and 11. Good stop by the Texans. A much-needed stop. They've got a guy back on the 15-yard line waiting to receive it. Here comes the kick. It's all the way down to the 15. He brings it back. He's going to have some space, but he's taken down at about the 23. First down, Texans. Let's see if they can turn it around now. Little commercial break, I think. They're going to have a short little break. Yeah, little break. And, of course, we're still on commercial break with the Blue Jays-Mariners game. Looks like Jeff Hasselhoffman is going to be on the mound for the Blue Jays to try to close it out. The Blue Jays have the lead 4-3 in the top of the ninth. The most important point of the game right now. Leo Rivas at the plate. He bunts it down the third base side. Foul, strike one. Comes 0-1 pitch. 88 miles an hour below the zone. 1-1 is the count. No outs, nobody on. The crowd is on their feet. Strike two on the inside edge. 95 mile per hour fastball. 1-2 is the count. Still waiting on the commercial break to end for the Texans. Busy day. Here comes a 1-2 pitch in the dirt, basically. 2-2. Texans have the ball on their own 24-yard line. 1st and 10. Jeff Hoffman is facing Rivas at the plate in the top of the ninth with no outs. Full count right now. Trying to lock down that ninth inning. Struck him out. 1 out. Stroud is in the shotgun. First play. He's back to pass. He throws it to the left side. It's incomplete. Not a good pass at all. He had a man over there, but just threw it ahead of him in the dirt, basically, in the grass. 2nd and 10. One out for the Blue Jays. Jeff Hoffman now facing the next batter. Looks like they have a pinch hitter in. Dominic Canzone is in the game. 2nd and 10 for the Texans. Stroud in the shotgun. He's going to toss it. He has to roll out. It looks like the ball comes out. Are they going to say that it's a live ball? Everybody's all over it. It gets fumbled into the end zone. Everybody goes after it. I don't even know what's happening. The referees are talking about, what do they call that? Was that a pass? Stroud was getting wrapped. Now they're calling safety. Stroud was trying to get rid of it, and they say that it was a fumble. He had a man on him. When he tried to throw it, the ball came out of his hand. They ruled it a fumble, then a safety. I don't know about that. Let's take another look at it, I guess. It was almost a touchdown. There was also an illegal shift on the Texans offense, but that was declined. Right now it's going to stand as a safety. They're going to take a look at it. Yeah, they're trying to determine a couple of things here. First of all, was it really a pass? Second of all, if it was not a fumble, did he pass it directly to the side? If so, then that would still be a fumble, right? You can still pick it up and run it in. But as it stands right now, ridiculous result. I really don't know what to say right there. Let's go over to the Blue Jays Mariners game. 2 outs. Canzone is out. 2 down. The Blue Jays are 1 out away from going to the World Series, guys and gals. Yeah, I'm not so sure either, JD. I'd have to have a better look at it from the side. Because If it's a lateral pass, then yes, it would still be a fumble. But they didn't show a proper angle. Here's the pitch. J-Rod at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. 4-3 Blue Jays. Top of the 9th. This is the last opportunity right here. Here comes the pitch. Up and inside. Maybe I can switch over to my baseball overlay. Right? Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. 86 miles an hour, low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike against J-Rod. 10 hits in this game for the Blue Jays. 8 for the Mariners. It's 4-3. Thanks to George Springer's dinger. They have a 1-run lead. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on. The Toronto George Springers. 1 pitch away from going to the World Series. You already given up, Brendan? Here's a pitch. Low and outside in the dirt. It's 3-2. Full count. Yeah, they're talking about this now. What are they going to say? Could have been a backwards pass. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to J-Rod. 1 more pitch. Struck him out. That's it. Hasselhoffman gets the strikeout, and the Blue Jays go to the World Series. Yeah, they say it is definitely a fumble. But let's jump over here right quick while they're talking about that. The Blue Jays win Game 7. They come back and win Game 7 versus the Mariners. Take that, you poisonous, venomous Seattle fans. Exactly what I wanted to see came true. I wanted to see revenge from George Springer after the Mariners fans cheered when he got hit and booed when he got up. And George Springer comes back with a sore knee, hits a 3-run homer to give the Blue Jays not only the lead, but the lift into the World Series. Congratulations. That's the man right there. Congratulations, Blue Jays. Now, let's get back to the Texans' humiliating game so far. Okay, so here's the thing. They take away the safety. So there's a break there. Look at this. The Mariners are watching the game, and they're like, oh, no, it's over. Guys in the stadium. Seattle Mariners fans in the stadium right now wearing Mariners gear, and they just lost. $14-0. Seahawks. 3rd and 12. Stroud in the shotgun. Come on. I got the wrong scoreboard on. There we go. It's a run over to the right side. He's got a little room. He picks up about 6 or 7. Whoops, wrong scoreboard. There we go. Sorry about that. I'll get things straightened out. Yes, that's right, Rusty. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. There's a flag on that play. Are you kidding me? Penalties declined. It doesn't matter. It's 4th down. Little mistakes right now. Just little mistakes. Little individual errors. We need these guys to be making individual efforts here. I mean, play as a team for sure, but the little individual mistakes are killing them right now. They're about to punt it away again. Here comes the punt. The Seahawks are back to get it at about the 29-yard line. He brings it back to the 43. So Seattle starts off with good field position on their own 43-yard line. The Springer Dinger. The Springer Dinger sends the Blue Jays to the World Series. I seriously couldn't be happier about that outcome. Springer goes to the plate a couple of games ago. Brian Wu, 97 miles an hour off his kneecap. The crowd cheers. And then after he finally gets up, the crowd boos. Completely classless. A lot of Mariners fans online and social media have been trying to defend it. Even on my channel, they made some posts trying to defend it. I was there. I was in the stadium. It was all the Blue Jays fans, blah, 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 blah. No. Okay. Well, guess what? The players were also there. And guess what the Blue Jays players said? They said that the fans were classless. That's what the players said. The players were at the game too, and they said that the reaction of the crowd to Springer getting hit and getting up, they themselves said that the fans responded in a classless way. So, who's right? I'm going to side with the players for a couple of reasons. Number one, they were there. They were in the game. They saw what happened. They heard the crowd. Number two, I heard the crowd too because I was doing the game live. They're still having a little chat with some of the Blue Jays players after that victory. But I heard the crowd. I heard the crowd cheer. Most of the crowd cheered when Springer got hit. And whenever he finally was able to get up with the help of his coaches, the crowd booed. They booed him. And then in yesterday's game, he didn't have a big game, but he did get a walk. He was struggling. He was in a lot of pain, but he played. And today he was still in pain, but he played. And guess what? He hits a freaking 3-run homer to put the Blue Jays over the top right when they needed it the most to win Game 7 and put them into the World Series. It couldn't be any more perfect. All right. Seahawks have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 43. Here's the snap. They're going to run it to the left side. They get him in the backfield. He's going to lose about 4 yards. Good defense, but there's a penalty marker down. Maybe it's holding. What in the world's going on? Let's see what the call is. They're still discussing it. I feel like the umpires in this game, the refs, are face mask on the defense. Once again, individual nonsense. Thanks a lot, dude. Mario Edwards Jr. with the face mask. 15-yard penalty, 1st down. Of course, it's going to move the ball forward for the Seahawks as if they need any extra help. But it seems like the refs are having to come together and discuss every single call. Why not just make the call and announce it quickly? Run right up the middle. He's stopped in the backfield and he stumbles and loses about a yard. 2nd and 11. Little guy with the tackle. Yes, Elijah says, George Springer, what a guy, made for these moments. Yes, he is. He's a good playoff dude. Brendan says, I'd rather sleep in my bed than be stressed out all night long. Yeah. But if the game bothers you that much and it's not even at halftime, that's not the Texans' fault. Even if they're losing 30-0 at halftime, if that stresses you out, then you're too emotionally attached. Just let it go. It happens sometimes. 3rd and 8. They went right up the middle, but didn't get the 3 yards. So that sets up 3rd and long. They need to shut it down. He's in the shotgun. He's going to throw it downfield. He's got a man, and he's open for a big conversion. 1st and 10. 19-yard pickup. All the way down to the 21-yard line of the Texans. Bad coverage over there on the left side. Susan, I am doing the Rockets opener tomorrow. That's right. It'll be my first time, so go easy on me. If you're going to be there, I'd appreciate seeing you there. This is a toss back. Cup is going to throw it. It's intercepted on the right side. He steps out of bounds, almost breaks it free for a pick 6. Darnold tosses it to Cup. Cup pretends to run and then throws it downfield. Intercepted by the Texans and returned about 15 yards. Look at this. Cup to the right side, overthrows his guy, but right to the defender. Hey, our defenders can catch the ball. Now if the receivers could do that. Good job by Bullock. All right, 1st and 10, the first really good result for the Texans in this game. How about that? Good result. Good result. Finally, a good play. Texans defense comes through. Yeah, Susan, I've got the, let me see if I can pull it up. I've got the Rockets game scheduled. I see Dr. DeLay is also doing the Texans Seattle live play-by-play. He's robbing my Houston crowd. I need to tell him to back off. Stay away from my Houston games. Let's see here. Let me share the link. Share that link. Copy. There we go. There you go. That's the link for tomorrow's live stream of the Rockets game versus the Thunder. That is a big game. Even though it's an opener, it's the first game of the season. It is a very important first game. Big game. What a day so far. We are back at the stadium. Lumen Field. Texans with the ball on the 23-yard line on their own 23. Stroud is back. He throws it to the left side, and he's going to get caught in the backfield for a loss of about 5. That's the wrong direction, guys. Don't want to go that way. Murphy the second makes the tackle. Stopped him in the backfield. 2nd and 15. Come on, guys. You got to score a touchdown on this drive. You got to drive down before half. Come on, you've got a good opportunity. You've had some breaks. Shotgun. Stroud is back. He throws it. He's got a man. He's up the middle. He's almost got the first down. 14-yard gain right up the middle. Collins manages to pull that one in. 3rd and 1. Come on now. Let's keep it going. Play smart. 3rd and 1. Here's Here's the, oh, he's going to throw it to the left side. He's got his man. Picks up 4 yards and a first down. Good toss. Good catch. Again, Collins on the left side. That's right, Elijah. That's right. It's going to be really, really busy 10 days for me. I got a lot to do. Stroud is back. Here's the, no, the ball gets knocked out when he goes to throw it. A fumble in the backfield, but one of his linemen falls on the ball. There's a flag, though. Let's see what the call is. Wow, holding on the defense. First down. So that eliminates the fumble. You can see the play right here. Right as he goes back to throw. But it doesn't matter. There's holding on the defense. You can see it right here. Downfield. Texans get lucky. 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line. Handoff right up the middle. He breaks free. Marks 11 yards. Right up the middle. Cuts over a little bit to the left side. 11 yards on 1st down. How about that? Look at this run. Right through the hole. He bumped into his own guy. He was almost home free there. I love me some Woody Marks. 1st and 10. From the 50, no, from the 48 of the Seahawks. They crossed midfield. Another run up the middle. Marks, he only gets about a yard before he's stuffed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this right here. Well, not that. It was the Rockets I meant to show on the screen. Not the Texans offensive line shuffle. They're showing how they changed the offensive line up. 2nd and 9 for the Texans. Stroud is back. He's got a man on the left side. 1st down, no problem, and a lot more. He runs it all the way down to the 25-yard line. Schultz on the left side. The rollout on the left side. Schultz wide open. Plenty of room on that side. 1st and 10 from the Seahawks 25. Stroud is back in the shotgun. He throws it. He's got a man. They're going to call some holding there. Yeah, finally. Collins is like, he was holding me. He was holding me. And then they throw the flag in there late. Ball is going to be placed at the spot of the foul. You see that? Yeah. He ran into him and kind of grabbed him. That's a move. That's like a moving pick in basketball, right? Can't do that to a receiver. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Texans finally having a decent drive. Let's keep moving it into the end zone. Let's have a positive result here. Let's get 6. Stroud in the shotgun. He drops back. He's going to throw it. He has to move up in the pocket. He's going to run it. No, he tosses it. Oh, right in the hands of Chubb, and Chubb can't handle it. They would have been able to get at least 5 yards out of that. Maybe he should have just kept it. He throws it. He starts to run it, and he threw it at the last moment. Now, that just was not a good throw. Stroud could have just run it up the middle and got at least 5 yards. 2nd and 10. Just keep it, man. He tucked it. Should have just kept going. Here's the play. Stroud under center. He falls down, and he just holds the ball, and they fall on him. They lose 5 yards, 3rd and 15. Stroud stumbled, looks like, maybe over his own guy. We'll see. Or did he just lose his footing here? Yeah. The center stepped on his foot. Are you kidding me? Yeah, look at that. The center stepped on his foot and he fell down. Chubb tried to block the defenders, but he couldn't really protect him, so he just stayed on the ground. 3rd and 15. Come on, guys. Get this first. 2 guys in the backfield. Shotgun. He drops back. He's got a man over on the right side. It's not going to be enough for a first down, but they get it down to about the 18-yard line. Got about 38 people watching. Make sure you do leave a like on the live stream. I would greatly appreciate that. Stroud comes out. It looks like they might be kicking a field goal here, and they are. 4th down and about 7. Field goal attempt coming up. And it's good. Fairbairn with the fair kick. Well, at least we got some points on the board. 14-3. I think right now this game should be 10-10. Or at the most 10-3. Not 14-3. But they're lucky that it's not worse than it is because they've made some boneheaded plays and boneheaded mistakes. So it could be worse. They're still in it. They're still in it. They're in it to win it. Let's see what we've got here. We've got about, wow, 32 likes. Wow, it's amazing to me how we've got 37. I actually got 30. Oh, I need to turn the, I don't have my viewers and subscribers on the screen. I need to put that on the screen. I can get that from my baseball overlay. Let me copy. Control copy. Go back over to Texans overlay and do paste. And then let's move those. Where can we put those? I think we can put them right there. That's good. Drop them in right there. Move that right up there. How does that look? Yeah, there we go. Now I just need to turn the script on, and we'll have some proper numbers on the screen. That is correct. Woohoo! All right. We're up to 31 viewers, but we have 32 likes. This is what happens whenever you go with your core audience, your core supporters and subscribers. It was a difficult decision for me because, to be honest, I just want to let you guys and gals know this because my focus on this channel is Houston sports. So at the end of the day, I will put Houston sports first because that's just what my channel is about. As much as I wanted to do the end of the game for the Blue Jays and Mariners, I'm glad that I was at least able to see the home run by Springer and share that with you on this channel. But just to let you know, my playoff games with the Mariners and Blue Jays were getting up to 5,000 to 8,000 viewers. So I left that game in order to do this live stream because you are my core audience, and looking at the ratio of views to likes proves why there's a huge difference between the people that are coming in. The quality of people here much higher than what I get with the quality of people in those big random live streams. On the kickoff, he brings it out to about the 29-yard line, and that is where the Seahawks will start. So obviously, I do appreciate the very strong, passionate support of my Houston crowd. So, arigatou gozaimasu. Daryl says, yeehaw. All right. Ryan, dude, welcome in. Too many caps. Darnold in the shotgun. He throws it over to the left side. He's immediately brought down, but he picks up about 4 yards. Yeah, Waylon, trust me, lately I have been reminding a lot about leaving the likes, but I will tell you this, if there's a lot going on in the game and I'm very busy focusing on that and relaying to you what's happening, then I can get distracted and forget. But luckily I do also have some subscribers who often remind the others to like the live stream. We got a little bit of a commercial break going on right now. After that first play, there was a timeout taken, but it is about 2nd and 6 for the Seahawks. It's a 2-minute warning timeout. That's what it is, not a team timeout. The post-game stuff for the Jays Mariners game is over. I'm so glad that the Mariners lost. Their fans deserve it after the way they acted. I'm so happy about that. Very, very happy. Not as happy as I would be if the Astros were in. But happy nonetheless. Should be back from commercial break in just a moment. Ryan says the greatest leadoff hitter in MLB history strikes again. That's right. Didn't really care who won until they cheered for him getting hurt, then booed after coming off the field. The baseball god said, You want to know pain now? That's right. Absolutely. It couldn't have been more perfect, Ryan. It really couldn't have been. You know, it's funny because Brian Wu was on the mound with 2 runners on, and they pulled him. They did not let him pitch to Springer. They pulled him for another pitcher. And the second pitch, he hit a homer. How awesome was that? All right, we are back. 2nd and 5. Darnold under center. No, he's in the shotgun. My bad. They hand it off, and he gets up. Oh my gosh, tackle him. How many tackles missed right up the middle? He picks up like 15 yards. They should have wrapped him up after 3 or 4 yards, but he just kept going and going and going. Look at this. Missed tackle, just push him off. No thanks, no thanks. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, coming through all the way up to the 50-yard line. What kind of nonsense was that? It's called tackling. I think that's the first thing you learn on defense, right? 1st and 10 on the 50-yard line. In the shotgun, he's back to pass. Darnold throws it down the middle. He's got a man wide open for 10 yards and a first down. Down to the 40-yard line of the Texans. 1 minute left in the half. The Texans cannot be giving up more points right here. Need to lock down. Darnold's passing again. Almost sacked him. Is it almost intercepted. Right before he gets sacked, he tosses it. Was that Lassiter that almost caught that? Look how they. Oh, that's not. That's the complete pass. I'm looking for the other play. This is the complete pass, the 10-yard first down pass. I'm not interested in that. I wanted to see the almost interception, but they didn't show it to me. 2nd and 10. Here's a snap. He's going to hand it off. They go up the middle, and they shut him down this time, but shut him down means he gets 5 yards. He goes right into the pack and pushes forward for 5 yards. So it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, a long 4. Yes, Elijah says, me too. Very happy the Mariners lost. That happens quite often, right? They pull a pitcher and the batter hits right after. Yes, you know, Elijah, they do that to Yordan Alvarez a lot. And the thing about Alvarez, it doesn't matter if you have a right-handed pitcher or a left-handed pitcher. It doesn't matter. He hits both of them just fine. And they often do this. The Astros will have 1, 2 guys on base, you know, and the Astros are down 1 or 2 runs, and Alvarez comes up, and they pull the pitcher for another pitcher. And what happens? Jordan hits it out of the park, or he hits a double. It doesn't matter what they do. That's the thing. If I'm a coach and I literally cannot afford to give up any runs in a situation like that, I don't change the pitcher. I just go ahead and intentionally walk Alvarez and pitch to the next guy. That's me. I've just seen the same thing over and over and over again. They bring in another pitcher, and Jordan just goes long, or he gets a double. He always comes up with a big hit in those situations. Shotgun 3rd and 4 for the Seahawks. He's back, and they rush him. He's going to have to go out to the side. He throws it out of play. Good D. Coverage was there. 4th and 4. They rushed him out. I'm kind of surprised, though, that he didn't throw it to his guy on the wing. He had a guy on the wing over there, but instead of throwing it to him, he just threw it out of bounds. Kind of confused about that. I guess he was worried about him getting caught in the backfield. But I felt like he had a little bit of room to run. Trust your guys. Trust your teammates. Field goal attempt looks to be good. Here comes the attempt. Oh, it's short. It's no good. It's short. They can run that back. Go get it. It rolls into the end zone. They're going to let it die. How about that? Texans get the ball back with 13 seconds left. That was somebody got their beefy paw on the ball. Look at this. Number 96, baby. Big feller. Autry. Look at him get up there. Yeah, the Seahawks are like, man, are you kidding me? The coach can't believe it. The other coach is like, heck yes, that's what I'm talking about. Let's keep it going. Slight momentum shift, if you believe in momentum. The Texans get the ball back. They manage to get down the field. They squeak in three points. And then they have a great defensive stop with a blocked field goal. 13 seconds left. Stroud in the shotgun. Are they going to do something here? Are they going to take a shot? We'll see right before half. Here's the snap. He drops back. And he throws. He's got a man. He's open all the way down to the 27-yard line. How about that? All the way down to the 27-yard line of the Seahawks. 6 seconds left. The Texans call a timeout. How about that? Stroud steps up in the pocket and makes a throw into, wow, perfect throw. Look at that. Noel gets that catch. All the way down to the 27. 27-28 of the Seahawks. 6 seconds left. Hey, they're going to try to throw it. All right. Timeout called by the Seahawks. Yeah, they're scared now. Hey, we can't be doing this. You know, if we give up a touchdown, we'll go in there just up by 4. How about this? The Texans get a touchdown and then go for 2. They get it, and then they're only down by 3. How about that? That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see. Stroud comes off the field. They're going to have a little chit-chat with the coach. Are they going to... Looks like they might be having a field goal. No, let's see. Seattle fans, I swear, they're not weird looking in a fan sort of way. They're weird looking in a I take some questionable medication sort of way. Shotgun, here we go. 1st and 10. He's back. He throws it to the sideline, and there's nobody there. 2 seconds. Yeah, they're going to have to kick a field goal now. They're going to have to try for the 3. Brendan, go back and lie down. Go lie down for a while. Get a nap or something, and then come back. Here we go. 46-yard attempt for Fairbairn. There's the snap and the kick. It's good. Right up the middle, baby. Couldn't be more perfecter. Couldn't be more perfecter. 14-6, it's halftime. So a couple of good stops by the defense. An interception, a couple of good stops, a couple of field goals. Now it's an 8-point game. The only reason that the Texans are down right now is because of individual mistakes. That's the only reason. Okay. They just explained why that was not a safety earlier on Stroud. And it was because of forward progress is what they said. They said that they contacted him while he was outside of the end zone, and the forward progress rule made him down outside of the end zone. So for those of you who are wondering about that play earlier in the game where they originally called a safety and then they changed it. The reason they changed it is because of that reason right there. Forward progress. We are at halftime, guys and gals. 14-6. That's right, Daryl. The Texans do get the ball back after halftime. So they get the extra 3 points. Now, that's not bad. Check that out. That they get a hand on the field goal. Great defensive play. They only have about 13 seconds on the clock. Instead of kneeling the ball, they decide to throw it downfield. Good call. That's what I would call. If I were up by a couple of touchdowns, I probably wouldn't do that. Maybe I would just run it. But they call the play. They get a big gain all the way down to about the 27, 28-yard line. They take one more quick play to the outside. Don't get anything, but it was worth a try. 2 seconds left. Kick the field goal. You got a good kicker. And they get 3 points out of it. Now, it's just an 8-point game. So, I think that's good. Like Daryl says, we get the ball back. And I think that the Texans will start it off with a TD. I don't know whether or not they'll go for 2 points. If they have a really good drive, they might feel confident to go for 2. Ryan says, I saw Texans punt a couple of times earlier. I swear everyone stayed at the line of scrimmage. No defense. That's not good. I wonder what's going on over at Dr. D's channel. He's also broadcasting. Wow, he's got a lot more people watching. So one thing I want to do here is take a look at some of the game stats. Let's take a look at there we go. All right. CJ Stroud, 11 of 18 for 106 yards. No TDs, no interceptions. Woody Marks, 4 rushes, 13 yards, 3.3 yards per rush. No TDs. Chubb, 3 carries for 7 yards, 2.3. Texans not doing much on rushing right now, but they have been throwing the ball a little more. They've got 5 different receivers with passing yards. Collins, Schultz, Noel, Chubb, and Marks. Chubb has 1 reception for -5 yards. Collins has 4 for 27. Schultz has 3 for 43 yards. Pretty good. Noel has 2 receptions for 34. That's also really good. 17 per catch. Marks has 1 reception for 7 yards. That seems like a failure. They should be tossing him more than Chubb. Let's see here. No sacks for the Texans yet. But 1 interception by Bullock. 4 tackles by Lassiter. Two punt returns by Smith, 58 yards total, 29-yard average. That's freaking awesome. Berrios. What in the world is going on here? Some strange, very strange messages that people are posting on my channel right now. Very strange. Let's take a look at some more stats right quick. What do we have here? Townsend's punts, 4 punts today, 201 yards total, 33.8 average after returns. Fairbairn, 2 field goals. The only points scored, almost said runs, the only points scored by the Texans today. But he's 100% with a long of 46 yards, and that was the one he kicked right before halftime. Punt returns not so good today, though. Berrios has 1 punt return for 0 yards, essentially. I don't know how that stat works. It says his average is 8, but yards returned in this game is 0. Maybe that's 8 overall in the season. Don't know. But let's see how this compares to the Seahawks. Stroud is 11 of 18. Darnold is 9 of 15. So Stroud's got him beat there, but Darnold's got him beat in yards, 134 to 106. And Darnold has a touchdown. Let's see here. Kupp has 1 pass attempt and 1 interception. So that's what happens when you get a guy in there who never passes the ball or rarely passes the ball. High percentage chance of throwing an interception. Let's see how the Seahawks are doing in rushing compared to the Texans. Overall, total yards on offense. Seahawks 188, Texans 103. Passing yards, Seahawks 134, Texans 83. Rushing yards are not good for either team. 54 for the Hawks, 20 for the Texans. yards per play, this is the big hurt, I think. 6.1 per play for the Seahawks and 3.8 for the Texans. First downs, 12 Seahawks, 8 Texans. Neither team has been good on third down. 1 for 6. They're both tied. 1 fourth down turnover or attempt made for the Seahawks and 1 attempt made. Total plays for both teams are kind of similar. 31 for the Seahawks, 27 for the Texans. And the Seahawks have managed to get to Stroud several times, and they have 2 sacks. None yet for the Texans. They need to put a little bit more pressure on Darnold. 4 punts for the Texans and 2 for the Seahawks. Penalties, 40 yards for the Seahawks and 36 for the Texans. Very similar. Time of possession is not too different, but the Seahawks have the edge. 16 minutes and 12 seconds versus 13 minutes and 48 seconds. Overall, there are a lot of similarities in the stats, but in a few key areas, there are some differences. The primary ones being that the Texans have not been as effective moving the ball as they should have been. Now, of course, there have been a couple of really bad individual mistakes that have cost the Texans big time. For example, with the penalties, they were just about to shut down the Seahawks and make them try a field goal. They were about to force a field goal. It would have been 4th down. But what would have been 4th and 6 turned to 1st down and basically 1st and goal because the defender decided to give a little extra tackle to the quarterback out of bounds, and that was called unnecessary roughness. So they gifted the Seahawks an extra 15 yards and a 1st down, and that turned into a touchdown. But at most, that should have been a field goal. So actually, the game right now could be 10-6, or it could be 7-6. But just that one boneheaded mistake by one defender, and some people try to defend that. They try to say, well, you got to understand when you're out there and you're a football player and you're in that energy and stuff and you're hyped up and everything. You don't understand what it's like. You got to yeah, I understand what it's like. I understand what it's like. I played many sports and I've been out there in those emotional moments and those high intensity moments. And guess how many times I use those moments to take it out on other people and other players? 0 times. 0. Why is that? Well, call it a combination of things. Call it common sense. Call it common courtesy. Call it intelligence. Call it not being narcissistic, not being sociopath, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I really don't know what drives players to do stuff like that. And you see it in all sports. It's not just football. People try to give football a pass because they talk about how aggressive it is and how physical it is and this and that. But that's not the truth. The truth is that the players generally are genuinely trying to hurt the other guy, or they're trying to make him look bad, or I mean, to me it's no different than you're playing a game and you're dueling with another player or something, and you beat him and his character falls over, and then you start dancing on top of him or something like that. That's the exact same type of mentality. But in real life, doing that is just stupid. Here's the return. It looks like the Texans are going to get it at the 25-yard line. They're talking to D'Amico about that blocked field goal and the return, the play downfield, and then the field goal before the half. We needed that spark. We needed to get us going, and we're here now. Go Texans. Let's go. Come on now. Stroud Under center. 1st and 10 from the 25. He hands it off, goes right up the middle. It's Chubb. Chubb picks up about 3 yards, maybe. About 3 yards. They're showing the interception from earlier. Brendan says, "How the hell did you do late games for Astros? So tired." But because for me, it's in the afternoon. It's 12:50 after lunch. Easier to do these games than it is to do the Sunday games. Oh, are you kidding me? It's intercepted right up the middle. Stroud throws it as he's being tackled, and it's being returned all the way down to about the 17-yard line. Stroud was being sacked, and he throws it forward, and it's caught by the Seahawks and returned down to the 17-yard line. There is a flag, and they're discussing it. Once again, every single flag, it seems that the refs have to discuss what's going on. Okay, so it's a blindside block, 15 yards, but after the interception. So the interception stands, and there's a blindside block. But I want you to see this. So Stroud goes up in the pocket. He's being pulled down, and he throws a terrible toss right up the middle. Right here, he torques him around, and he throws it right to the defender. Once again, individual mistakes. 2 interceptions now, one for the Texans, one for the Seahawks. 1st and 10, but thankfully they don't get the ball on the 17-yard line. It's going to be around the 35. 38-yard line, looks like. Darnold is back. He's going to throw it, and he's got a guy, but it's blocked. He had 2 receivers go after it, but it was knocked down. Not sure who he is throwing it to there. They got a little confused. 2nd and 10. Looks like it might have gotten deflected by the first receiver. Yeah, looks like it was. Quarterback's looking confused there. What are you so upset about? It was just an incomplete pass. It wasn't an interception. 2nd and 10. Darnold's under center. It looks like he might be handing it off. He's got one guy in the backfield. He does. And he powers forward, but they stop him. He gets 6. He kept going and kept going, and they kept pushing, but they blew it dead, and they just kept going and going and going. And then the crowd booed. But it was whistled dead. You can't have a second effort. That was dumb. Right here, they stop his forward movement right there and push him back. They whistle it dead, and then they keep pushing forward. You hear the whistle, you got to stop. 3rd and 3. Defense has to step up again and cover the offense. He hands it off right up the middle, and they stop him. Yes, they stop him a yard shy. 4th and 1. They going to go for it or kick the field goal? Daryl says, Dodgers going, oh no, not Springer again. Yes, that's right. How awesome would it be for Springer to win the series, the World Series against the Dodgers? I'd love it. I would love it. Go Blue Jays. 4th and 1, they're going to go for it. Shut them down. Texans, come on. They're going to throw it. It's complete down the middle on the side. He runs out of bounds on the side. 1st down. They set up like they were going to run it, and they throw it to the guy from the inside out. He goes down the middle and cuts to the outside. The throw is right there. 1st down. First and 10 on the 11-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Wow, he only got 3 yards that time. That front line has been a little too soft. They've been allowing 5 and 6 yards per run right up the middle. 2nd and 7. Here's a pitch. No, the throw over to the right side. Boom, knocks him out of bounds. No gain. 2nd down and 7. Coverage was there. Darnell rolled out on the right side, didn't have a man, threw it to his, looks like his running back. He was immediately knocked out of bounds for no gain. Ryan says, I don't watch the Texans scoring one lousy touchdown. They haven't scored a touchdown yet. I don't know what you're talking about. 3rd and 6, a long 6. Darno in the shotgun. He throws it over the right side, overthrows his man big time. 4th and 6. So the defense does force a field goal. There's no way they're going to go for it right here. Brian, when you talk like that, I don't know if you're a Texans fan or if you're a Seahawks fan, but it looks like you're an angry Texans fan. But if you're going to be a Texas fan, then talk like one. Don't be so disappointed and give up so early. It reminds me of Astros fans, some of those fans that just give up so early. Astros give a run or two in the first inning, and they're like, "That's it, the game is over." He barely gets that one in. Field goal is good. It's 17-6. With 10:34 left in the third, Texans will be getting the ball back in just a little bit. Jay says, compete with honor. That's right. Elbow says, never been to a U.S. football chat. Really? I guess you don't know anything about that then. About U.S. football? Jay says, is your buddy Glenn still there? Did he go back to Australia? No, Glenn's still here. He's around here somewhere. I told him I would be in here for a while because I had the baseball game earlier and then I have the Texans game now, but this one's cruising by pretty quickly, so it's getting into the third, so I'll be able to get up and stretch my legs, get some lunch. Tomorrow he's got to go to Osaka, though. And then he'll be back around 10 days from now. And then a few days after that, we're gonna go to Aichi, which is close to Kyoto. We're gonna attend a conference, which reminds me, I haven't sent my my presentation. I'm doing a presentation over there about finding and buying and repairing, living in these old houses in Japan, as well as doing content on YouTube here in Japan. So I've got to do that as soon as possible. We are still on commercial break, waiting for that to come back. Waiting for the kickoff. We'll come back from the commercial break. They'll kick it off and probably have another commercial break after that. But it's 17-6 right now. The Seahawks. If the Texans defense can limit the Seahawks to just 1 or 2 more field goals, that will be awesome. But we need Stroud and these individual players to stop making these boneheaded mistakes. The first half was the exact same so far as the second half. Individual mistakes are costing them big time. So far, at least 10 points, has resulted in their mistakes, or their mistakes have resulted in at least 10 points. It has cost them 10 points. Here's the return. He's crossing the 20. Is he going to get to the 25? Yes, he does. And he turns up to the 30, 31, 32. Pretty decent return. So that's where the Texans will start, from the 32-yard line. 10:26 left here in the third. Plenty of time to work right now. But they need to lock in. Stroud and the Texans. First and 10. He's under center. Got one man in the backfield. Fake handoff. He throws it downfield and intercepted. It looked like a little bit of pass interference there. He was on the receiver's back before the ball got there, from what I could tell, but nothing was called. So it's 2nd and 10. Still got about 32 people watching and 32 likes. Is that right? That's crazy. 33 watching, 41 likes. Awesome. 2nd and 10, Stroud's under center. He drops back another fake handoff, and he tosses this one to the right side. They're going to have the first down and more. He picks up about 15 or 16 yards. Nice play. First down, 1st and 10. Ball's on Houston's 49-yard line. Shotgun. Stroud is back. Looking for a man. He's going to throw it away. Flag comes in. Hopefully it'll be defensive pass interference. Might move the ball down the field. Defensive holding. Yep. Holding defense. Me likey. Tommy likey. Tommy like holdy. You're going to see it right here. Yep. Pretty obvious. Good call, refs. Seahawks are winning the penalties. They've been penalized 7 times for 60 yards, so the Texans need to capitalize on that. Here's a handoff right up the middle. He picks up about 5. Woody Marks gets tripped up, but still manages to get 5. 2nd and 5. From the Seahawks 42-yard line. Stroud under center. He's got 2 guys in the backfield. Here's a snap. He's going to drop back to pass. Here's the throw down the middle. Almost intercepted. Broken up. It's going to be 3rd and 6. Nico Collins was coming across the field, but Stroud threw it into traffic. Dangerous throw there. You can see right here. Oh, he had the opportunity to catch it, but it was knocked out of his hands. So close. So close. 3rd and 6. Shotgun, 2 men in the backfield, 1 in motion. There's the snap. He drops back. He's going to throw it. It's incomplete on the right side. Bobbling. No, he caught it. Now they're saying it's incomplete. So at first they call it a catch, and then they say it's incomplete. What was that about? So he brings it in, bobbles it, falls down to the ground. The ref says it's a catch. I don't know. That looks like it was a catch. And then he loses it at the end and calls it, and they change it to not a catch. I'm not so sure about that. Wasn't he on the ground when he had control of it? And then he lost control again? I don't know. What do I know? Just some dude. They're going to punt it away inside Seattle territory. That's sad. Here comes the punt. It's going to go back to, oh, good bounce. They down it at the 4. Don't want to see them punt it away, but if you're going to have to give it to the Seahawks, you might as well give it to them on their own 4-yard line. Yeah, that's right, Daryl. How about them Blue Jays? How about them Blue Jays? I'm going to get up and stretch my leg, guys and gals. I'll be right back. The Seahawks have the ball on their own 4-yard line. About 7 minutes approximately left in the third quarter. 17-6 Seahawks. Let's go. Be right back. Yes. That's what they get. That's what they get. All right, we're back. Missed that first play from scrimmage for the Seahawks. It's 2nd and 6. They pick up 4. Here's the handoff right up the middle, and they stop him in the backfield. Boom! They just all over him. They tear him up at the line of scrimmage, and they lose a yard. 3rd down and 7. Man, they were all over him. That was a swarm. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. This could be an excellent opportunity for the Texans to get that ball back with good field position. He's going to have to punt in the back of the end zone. Come on, shut it down. 1 for 8 on 3rd down conversions are the Seahawks today. Not doing well in that category. He's in the... Oh, it's going to be a safety. No, it's a touchdown. It's a fumble and a touchdown. I kid you not. They were bringing Darnold down in the end zone, and he lost the ball. It is a fumble. And look at that. That's right. Take that, Seattle. How do you like that? Darnold felt the pocket collapsing. He went backwards. and the pocket just followed him. The Texans were all over him. He was going to try to pull it out and throw it, but it was knocked out of his hands. One of the Texans linemen fell on it. Look at that. Boom, number 51. Man, look at that. How do you like this defense, baby? Number 1 in the NFL. They're going to try to convert the 2-point conversion. Stroud is running. He's rolled over to the right side. He has a man, but he throws it over his head. It's a 5-point game. Yeah, they went for dose. They didn't get it, but they went for dose. Look at this. Look at this. Anderson. It's a new game. I'm telling you. I'm just not sold that the Seahawks can win this game. Let's go indeed. Rusty Gamer with the $10 super chat. Thank you, sir. Touchdown Texans. Let's go. First super chat of the day. Thank you, sir. Arigatou gozaimasu. Texans touchdown super chat. Thank you very much. Texans' first touchdown of the day. Makes sense that they would go for the 2 points to try to make it a 3-point game, but kind of wish that they had just gotten the extra point. Since it's still early in the third, they still got time left in the third and then the fourth ahead of us. So I feel like they didn't have to go for it this early. JD says Blue Jays will be fortunate to win 1 game against the Dodgers. I disagree. I think you don't know what you're talking about, JD, respectfully. You're talking about a team that got swept by the Astros and destroyed, actually. Not just swept, but destroyed by the Astros. And they are streaky. The Dodgers kind of remind me of the Mariners. Almost said the Seahawks. When they're on, they're on, but when they're off, they play like trash. And I feel like I said before, the Blue Jays are more consistent overall than either of those teams. The Dodgers' luck has run out. George Springer will have some more fun against the Dodgers coming up real soon. Yeah, that quarterback should have gone forward. He made the mistake by going backwards. All right, here's the kickoff. Oh, nice return all the way out to about the 37, 38-yard line. That was a little too cushy. Why do they even kick it off to the guys? That kickoff didn't even make it to the end zone. Whatever happened to kicking it out of the end zone? Can't you just kick it over his head? Why give him a chance to run it back? I don't understand that. 4 defensive touchdowns in the last 2 seasons for the Texans. Daryl's right. The Dodgers are not as good as you think they are. Or the Blue Jays are not as bad as you think they are. Oh my gosh, perfectly thrown pass on the left side. Right over the head of the defender. Caught. And he immediately goes out of bounds, but that was a nice gain. 7 minutes left in the third. Look how this pass goes right over the hand of the defender. I think his hand actually touched the ball. No, it didn't. It almost did. Maybe 1 inch. Yeah, they have a lot of time off. I think they're going to be out of it. Too comfortable. But that's Los Angeles. Whoa. Batted down at the line. 2nd and 10. El Shair. Good hands. That was hit down twice. 2 different players got their hands on that. Double D, baby. Double D. Darno in the shotgun. They hand it off. Goes to the right side and bounces out. Shut him down. He picks up quite a few, but it's not enough for the first. 3rd and short. Maybe 3. Another important stop. Defense needs to keep coming up big time. 3rd and 2 for the Seahawks. Ryan says Seattle will burn if both of them lose. It probably will. A lot of people in Seattle don't need much of a reason to go out and riot and burn, that's for sure. 3rd and 2, here's a handoff up the middle. They stop him in the backfield. He gets nothing. He might have even lost a little bit. 4th down and maybe 3. How about that? Come on, you got to kick it away. 4th and 3 in your own on your own side of the field. That's too dangerous. You still got a full quarter left to play with 5.5 left in the third. You got to kick it. You got to kick it. Can't go for it right here. Too dangerous. You're up by 5. Don't be a hero. Kick it away. Oh, they're going to go for a field goal. Oh, I'm on the wrong side of the field. This one manages to squeak through, so they get 3 points. 20-12. You see, this is where that extra point would have mattered. It would be a 7-point game if they'd kicked that extra point earlier, like I wish they would have. But whatever. Ryan says Lions would definitely go for it. I was thinking for some reason that the ball was on the Seahawks side of the field, but I was wrong. It was on the Texans side. I don't know why I was thinking. I guess it's because I'm thinking too much about the conversation earlier we're having about the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Maybe I was distracted.
I am sorry. I did not mean to be distracted. I will do better, I promise. It may take some time, maybe 1, 2, or 3 decades, but I promise I will continue to get better.
The crowd is so much smaller here, but the quality is high. The quality is high. Thank you all for being here. We got about 43. Yep, 43 viewers. Subscribers up to 1,400. The football season is upon us. The World Series is upon us. And guess what? Houston Rockets basketball is upon us, and that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow, no football, no baseball. It's basketball. And just to give you a little taste, for all of you watching right now, how do you like that? Did you like that? Did you get to see it? Did you see my scoreboard? Congratulations. If you just saw my Rockets scoreboard, you are the first ever to see my scoreboard outside of me and the AI that helped me to build it. It's going to be wicked. If everything works as planned, then my Rockets overlay is going to work really, really well. Thank you, Rusty. I hope you enjoy it. Actually, I'll show it to you again. At the next commercial break, I'll show it to you again. I want to share with you how it works. I can't show all of the animations and stuff that it's supposed to do because the game is not live, but it's supposed to do a variety of crazy things. I really went overboard to try to make it as interactive as possible. So I really do hope that you all enjoy it. Here's the kickoff. The Texans are bringing it back out to the 20. the 25, 30, and he goes out of bounds just past the 30-yard line. It looks like the Texans will start at their own 32. Pretty good run back there. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Susan. Yeah, I've been putting a lot of effort into improving what I have and building my new stuff to be even better and better and better. I'm trying to utilize as much information as possible in order to make my scoreboards look really awesome. Well, they looked like that was a broken play right there. Stroud went to his left to hand it off, and nobody was there, and he turned around and handed it to Marks. But by the time he got it to him, the play was broken. They lost a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Look at this. He's like, whoa, nobody's there. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Can't have that type of miscommunication. Can't afford that. But it's okay. They got it out of their system. No big deal. Let's do it. 2nd and 11. Seahawks fans are standing up with their arms crossed. They're not very happy right now. Fake handoff, and he throws it to the left side. You got a man. Go, 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 baby. He's going up the middle. First down. Yeah, right up on the line. 11-yard gain. First down. They mark it. Nice. Nice play there. He rolls out to the left side, lobs it right over to his guy. He cuts back up on the middle. Good stuff right there. Schultz with the first down. No, they mark it a little short. 3rd and 1. Are they going to take a look at it? They should take a look at that. I think that was a first down. They might be challenging the spot on the field. We'll see. Because I think he was right on it. His elbow was down. Okay, he was a little short. His elbow got down, so it's about a half a yard. It's 3rd and less than a half a yard. You see where the ball's marked right there. So here we go. Stroud under center, one man in the backfield. Here's a snap. Handoff up the middle. Oh, short. He runs right into a wall. 4th down and less than a yard. They were completely stuffed. Are they going to go for it? They got nothing on this. Just runs right into him. Nothing doing. They're going for it. Here's the handoff. Left side. Marks gets shut down. Are you kidding me? They try to run him out to the left side, and they get him behind the line. They lose about a yard. They fail to convert on 4th down at their own 40-yard line. Why didn't they throw the ball on 3rd down? Do something a little unexpected. There was nowhere for him to go. He went right into a mound of guys. Look at this. Look at this. Just there's nothing there. That is highly disappointing. Brendan wants to know who my favorite Rocket player is. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I don't have a favorite player yet, to be honest. I know that Durant is a great player, but I would have to say that to call him my favorite Rocket right now would be kind of silly because he hasn't been with the Rockets very long. And I haven't been watching Rockets basketball. I've been busy with my life, you know. So, to be honest, Brendan, I don't know yet. I'll find out as the season goes along. Yeah, that's right, Brendan. I'm not a new Rockets fan, but I haven't watched the Rockets in years, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to settling in and getting to know the team. You know what I'm saying? 2nd down and 10 for the Seahawks. He's got a man on the right side, and they tackle him. He gets about 3 yards. 3rd and 7. You're right, Susan. You and I are in agreement. That was stupid. That was a very stupid couple of plays. They could have done a quarterback push right up the middle on 3rd and 4th down. They could have done that, and that would have been a better result than what they did that time. Just a quarterback sneak right up the middle with a big push. Why not do that twice? They only needed a few inches. 3rd and 7. Darnold in the shotgun. Here's the snap. He's going to throw it to the right side. It's complete, and they get the 1st down and more. He's all the way down to about the 17-yard line. I'm telling you, the Texans' offense is making it really difficult on the defense. The defense is not having a really bad game, but they're really they're asking the defense basically to win this game right now. Offensive coordinators, yeah. Stingley, I haven't heard almost anything about him at all. I guess he's just not at 100%. 1st and 10. Here's the play. He's going to throw it. Throws it downfield to the end zone, in and out of the hands of his receiver. But they're calling a flag. They're throwing a flag. They're discussing once again. Here we go. What do we want to call here? What does Vegas say? Probably what they're discussing. Pass interference on the defense. It took you all that time to figure that out. Why did you throw the flag if you need to discuss it? You got 2 guys back there, and you got to figure out what call you're going to make. Oh, no, there was no pass interference. So the receiver ran into Lassiter. Lassiter was called for pass interference, but it was the receiver that ran into Lassiter. He ran into Lassiter and pushed him, and they called defensive pass interference. So it was a Vegas discussion. They're going to go to the right side, and they're going to stop him. Thought they were going to have the touchdown there. Nothing gained. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. The refs just helped the Seahawks with a fake call. That was offensive pass interference, if anything. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Come on. We need a big turnover right here. That's what we need. Through Vegas and these refs. Darnold under center. He's got 3 men in the backfield, 1 in motion. Here's the handoff, and he's in easy. Walks in the end zone, of course. That's 6 more points. It's 26-12. As if they needed the help, the refs become a very important 11th or 12th man, rather, and help the Seahawks get into the end zone. Just waltz in on the left side. Brendan says should have kicked. I don't know that they should have kicked. I think they should have just made better play calls, because you're talking about 4th down, but what I was talking about earlier was both 4th and 3rd down. They made bad play calls on 3rd and 4th down. So on 3rd down, I think they could have just done a quarterback sneak, a push up the middle. They didn't do that. Instead, they decided to throw the ball back further behind the line, and they got shut down before they even got to the line. And then they do the same thing again and get shut down behind the line 2 times in a row. You know, they just didn't learn anything. When you've got 3rd and inches and you decide to run it, all you have to do is do a quarterback push right up the middle. It's just a few inches. Why would you throw it back? Why would you automatically put the ball 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then you have to pick up basically 9 yards to get a 1st down instead of just a few inches? I don't get it. Susan says Singlin is my hubby's favorite player. I see. Hey, Trisk. Hope Hope is well in the east. Yeah, hope everything here is okay. It's nice and cool. It's 16 degrees Celsius, around 60 degrees today. My hands are a little chilly, but it's nice. I got my jacket on, got my Astros jacket on, Astros hat. I'm still waiting for my. Oh, there's a drop on the kickoff, but he's able to pick it up and get it out to the 20. Not a great result, but that's where the Texans will start with 48 seconds left in the third. From their own 20-yard line. Hope all is well with you, Triska. Bad call. Receiver ran into the defense. Stupid calls that need to be overturned by a replay ref. I absolutely agree. There was no defensive pass interference. Actually, the defender said he pushed me. You see, he said he pushed me. He ran into me. I didn't do that. He was right. It sucks when you get called for a penalty and you didn't even commit a penalty. Stroud is back. He throws it on the left side. Pass interference, maybe? Where's the flag? So the defender runs into the receiver, but they don't call it, of course. It looked like he was all over him. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at that. Where's the pass interference there? He was all over his back, and he's clapping. Good job. We get away with the calls on both sides of the balls. 2nd and 10, pass downfield. He's got a man, but he overthrows him. 3rd and 10. Brennan says, thank you, refs. We need a touchdown, a defensive stop, and another touchdown within the next 6 minutes to make this a ball game, to make this a really good ball game. 3rd and 10. The crowd is cheering. Come on, Stroud. He's in the shotgun. He goes back, and he gets sacked in the backfield. Safety comes in on the blitz and takes him down. That's going to be a punt. He had good coverage there until the safety came in. There was no one to pick him up. He couldn't step up in time. He couldn't get rid of it in time. Stroud had no chance there. Nothing he could do. And here comes the punt. Down to about the 40. He's going to have plenty of room to ring it back. 5 yards. He retreats. Comes back forward again. About a 7-yard return. It'll be about the Seahawks 47. That's where they will start. So we got a commercial break coming up. It's 20-12 Seahawks. I'm telling you, I still feel the same about this game that I felt since the nonsense started. The only thing that's keeping the Texans out of the game is these little errors. They're still in the game. Not yet. They're not yet out of time. They still have a full quarter. All they need is a stop, a touchdown, another stop, and a touchdown. I know it sounds like, that's not easy. I think so. I think they have the talent to do it. They can do it. But they have to stop making these boneheaded little mistakes. At the end of the day, you can't blame the refs, even though they botched a really bad call earlier. They botched it. It's like the Mariners game earlier. Bieber was on the mound pitching for the Blue Jays. I can't remember which one of you said this. One of you in my chat were talking about how Bieber was yelling at the umpire, yelling at the plate umpire for not calling some of his pitches strikes. He was getting really, really upset. It was getting to a point in the game where he was in danger of getting tossed. But it came time to pull him out anyway. He had 2 outs with a runner on first after a walk. And one of my subscribers, I can't forgive me if it was you. One of my subscribers said, you know, the umpire didn't give up 7 hits. And that's true. That's true. In this game also, even though the refs have made some questionable calls, you can't say, well, the refs. Well, you could say this instead. You could say the refs didn't score 27 points against you, and the refs haven't kept you to 12 points. Primarily, it's on your shoulders, not the refs. So you got to do what you can. Even if the Texans lose this game, they have to come back and make it a game. They have to come back and make it a game. They can. They can. Will they? That's the question. Come on, don't be like the Astros. First play from scrimmage, false start. Big guy comes across the line. Hey, look, the refs didn't gather together to have their Las Vegas discussion about what to call. That's how fast the call should be. Oh, that guy, false start, offense. That's how fast the call should be. When you throw the flag, you shouldn't have to gather together with 2 or 3 other refs just to decide if it's pass interference or not. And then they still get the call wrong. That's the thing. So that makes me think about them discussing not what happened, but what they want to call. Handoff right up the middle. He gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down and 15. Trisk says you were talking about the 3rd and short stuff. Coaches are trying to replicate Tomlin ball because they like the 30% converting 3rd and shorts. Yeah. Second and 14. I guess it's a long 14. Darnold is back in the snap. He's going to try to throw it. He gets blocked. Another beefy paw. A nice big beefy paw. Number 72 rushes up the middle. That's a big dude. Togia. Togia. Boom, 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 boom. Coming off that field. Look at him pushing through there and knocking it down. Man, he knocked it down with his elbow. Holy freaking cow. That's a big dude right there. Some might even say like a refrigerator. Daryl says the refs always screw Houston. It seems to be the trend. You know what I'm saying? There's the snap. They throw out to the left side. It's 3rd and 14. He runs. He gets very close to the first down. They're going to say he's about a yard short. That was too soft. They gave him way too much room, and he almost picked up the first down. It's going to be 4th and 1 for the Seahawks at the 44-yard line. Are they going to go for it? No, they're taking the offense off the field. Can you believe that? They're going to punt. So this could be that defensive stop that I was talking about. That's step number 1. Stop them on defense. Nope. It's trickery. They're going to go for it. Or are they going to do a fake punt? No, they're going to try to get them to go off sides, I think. They're trying to draw them off sides. No, they're not going to snap it. They tried to draw them off sides. They just took the delay of game. So they line up in some kind of trickery offense, and they put a couple of guys in motion. But the Texans don't fall for it. Good job, defense. They didn't fall for it. You see this right here. As soon as the kicker gets back there, he goes over to the wing, and they try to draw him off. They put a couple of different guys in motion, but they never hiked the ball. Now it's 4th and 6, and they do have the real punter in, or the punter back. Here comes the kick. Good job on the Texans there, not moving. He catches about the 10 or 12-yard line, runs it back just a little bit. Texans are going to have it at the 20-yard line. All right. 13-13 left in the game. I'm going to take a quick break from Lumen Field. So step 1 of 4 is done. Stop them. Done. Check. Number 2, score a touchdown. Coming up. Step number 3, stop them again. Maybe with a big defensive play that puts you in great scoring position. Step number 4, score again. Score another touchdown. But you know what? Maybe a defensive touchdown in step number 3. That puts you within 1 or 2 points. And then step number 4 could be stop them again. Step number 5, kick a field goal, win the game. So maybe the Texans win this game by 2 points with a field goal. We'll see. They could do it. Let me get caught up on the live chat right quick. Let's see what's going on. Elijah says, you, my friend, are using common sense. Football coaches don't use that very often in those 3rd and 4th short situations. That's true. They get a little emotional and they stop thinking. But, you know, when I see the coaches just line everybody up, bring them in, and do the quarterback push right up the middle when they've only got a few inches to get on 3rd down, I'm like, good. That's what you should do. It's very simple. It's straightforward. And it doesn't matter if the other team is expecting it or not. You only need a few inches, and you should be able to get it. If you've got a formation that works, then do it. If you're going to go for it on 4th down, then you should do your best on 3rd down, and then do your best on 4th down. But when you run 2 plays in a row where you're tossing the ball backwards before you go forwards, and you only have a few inches to gain, where's the logic in that? I don't get it. So that is definitely not common sense. Ryan says, I'm guessing you saw Naylor in the 1st inning. I knew that was correct call, but was surprised to see umps actually calling it. Well, they had to discuss it for a little while, Ryan, where Naylor jumped up in the baseline. I'm sure that's what you're talking about. Naylor was running to 2nd, and they had the double play. And whenever he was throwing to first base, he jumped up. He deliberately jumped up in the path of the ball, and the ball hit him in the back of the helmet, and they called it. They had to discuss it a little bit, but they made the right call. I knew when that happened that it should have been called because I saw him jump up. Very first play from scrimmage, over on the right side, the ball's dropped. It was in Nico's hands, but it was knocked down. Collins is still down. He's grabbing his head for some reason. Let's see what happened over here on the side. Oh, his head came down and slammed into the ground, and he immediately grabbed his head. Look at this. Boom. And he immediately grabs his head. They're going to check him out on the sidelines. Yeah, he's shaken up. He's trying to stand up, but he's sat back down. He might have a concussion. 2nd and 10 for the Texans. Collins might be out of the game after that. That's not good. Stroud in the shotgun. Throw to the right side again. That's way over his head. Overthrown by Stroud. Third and 10. Elijah says the city of Seattle is already hurting. Vegas got to help them out. That's right. Defense doing well. Offense fell back asleep during the bye week. Yeah, they're taking Collins in the tent. 3rd and 10. Come on, Texans. Remember the strategy. Stop them on defense. Check. Get a touchdown on the next possession. That's this one. Come on, check. We're waiting on the refs right now. Not sure what they're discussing. What does Vegas say? Before we whistle this play to start, what does Vegas say we need to do? Well, I think we need to do this and that. Okay. Well, I've never heard of that before, but let's try it. Let's see if the crowd can accept it. How can we make the most money on these micro bets? now there are three. There are three refs over there talking about it. What the heck is going on? It was 2 holding up the game. Now it's 3. Come on, bring them all in. Why not? Bring them all in. Bring them all in. Stroud is like, I don't know what's going on, man, but I'd kind of like to play some football. Hey, guys, you want to play some football? Okay. I don't understand what just happened, but they say there was no play. It's 2nd and 10. Reset the game clock to 13:09. So it's not 3rd and 10. It's 2nd and 10. I don't know what happened. Don't ask me to explain, but that's what they were discussing. Here's the snap. Stroud is back. He's going to throw it. He goes way downfield. He's got a man. It's underthrown. Hutchinson tried to slow down and get it, but he got tangled up with his defender. That ball was underthrown by several yards. It was nice to see the long bomb and the beautiful spiral downfield. Let's take a look. Look how far it was underthrown. He was wide open. He underthrows him by like 5 yards. What in the world are you doing? Now it is 3rd and 10 again. Come on, get some more help from the refs. Tell them it's a non-play. Shotgun. He's going to throw it again. He's back. Throws it downfield again. The same play. And he's overthrows him this. 4th and 10. How about we go for it on 4th and 10? Just throw the same play again. Call the same play again. Hey, it's 4th and 10 on the Texans' own 21-yard line. Go for it. I think so. Go for it. Here comes the punt. It's not a fake punt. It's a real one. Orton Here's a Who is back to receive the punt. He brings it out. He returns it for about 15 yards, and they finally wrap him up. Are they going to whistle it down? No, he's still moving the crowd. They finally whistle it down. He gets about a 17-yard return. They're going to have it on the 38-yard line, looks like. Seattle's own 38. What kind of nonsense are we watching right now? So basically, in that series of events, on 1st down and 2nd down and 3rd down, they threw it and didn't get anything. But they said that the 3rd down didn't happen, or the 2nd down play didn't happen, so they gave them another 2nd down play. They threw it, nothing happened. 3rd down, they threw it again, nothing happened. So they basically threw the ball 4 times and didn't gain a single yard, 4 incomplete passes, and then punted it away. First play from the line of scrimmage for the Seahawks is Darno throwing it out of bounds. 2nd and 10. Yeah, this is the most points they've allowed. That's right. But if you think about it, it's not really a lot. It's just that the offense doesn't keep the offense for the Texans doesn't stay on the field. They don't stay on the field. So they're making it difficult on the defense, and the Seahawks are getting more and more opportunities. That's a run right up the middle for about 15 yards on 2nd and 10. Collins is going to be taken out into the locker room. Most likely concussion. "12 minutes left to play in the 4th quarter. First and 10 from the Texans 49. Here's a pass way downfield, and it's knocked down. 2 defenders on him. 2nd and 10. Coverage was there. That was a bad play. But there's a flag. They're going to replay 1st down? Was it holding? Yeah, he got there just a little early. Stingley did, but they didn't call it. He bumped him. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm surprised the refs didn't call it. But it doesn't really matter. Penalty was called on the Seahawks for holding. It's 1st and 20. Darnold's going to do a pitch right up the middle, and he falls down immediately. They pick up a few yards, but not too much. 2nd down, and about, 16? How many did they get? 4 yards on that? Yeah, he just tosses it forward. And he picks up maybe 5. Broncos scored 33 in the 4th quarter in their game. Anything is possible. That's true. It's true. 2nd and 14. Come on. All right. Pass is complete down the middle. Oh, he strips it out. It's a fumble. It looks like the Texans might have it. The refs are calling 1st down Texans. So it was a pass down the middle, complete, about 4 or 5 yards shy of the 1st down. They hit him immediately, and before he went down, they stripped it out. The ball came bouncing out, and the Texans get it. Look at that. Yes, that is clearly a fumble. Texans got it. 1st and 10. All right. Take away. There we go. 3 turnovers for the Seahawks today. 1 for the Texans. And this is where we capitalize. This is where we capitalize, guys. Let's go. First play from scrimmage. Stroud is back in the shotgun. He's going to throw. He's got a man in the middle. They go forward. He breaks a tackle. Gets about 9 yards. That's Woody Marks. Breaks one tackle, moves forward a little bit, stretches it out. What could have been a 5-yard gain turns into a 9-yard gain. 2nd and 1. 10.5 left in the 4th. Ball on the Seahawks 45-yard line. Pass complete on the right side. 1st down. 5-yard pickup. Schultz, I believe, on the right side. Refs are worse in the NFL than the MLB. You're right about that, Brendan. It's just more obvious a lot of times with the umpire in the MLB calling, terrible pitches behind the plate. Stroud rushes out and throws it downfield, but out of play. He was about to get sacked. He managed to get away, but there's a flag down after the play. Might be roughing the passer. Might be some unsportsmanlike conduct. Illegal blindside block on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down. Oh. Ingram just going helmet to helmet against. Well, there was also an illegal hit against Stroud, helmet to helmet. They didn't call that. Look at this. Look at Stroud back there. Look at Stroud get hit. There's the first hit, and there's the second one. Look at that. So they get the first hit on the offense, but on the defense, he hits the quarterback, hits Stroud right in the helmet, right in the face mask with his arms and his helmet. They don't call that. Oh, almost an interception over on the right side, in and out of the hands of the defender. 2nd down and 25. But Ryan, you're right. You say I'm convinced a lot of NFL games are rigged. I think it's not just the refs though, it's also the players, maybe even coaches. To me, it's not a conspiracy. It is an entertainment money league, you know what I'm saying? 2nd and 25. Here comes a play. He runs it up the middle. He's going to run it. Come on, go, 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 go. He gets a little bit, not a first down, but he's down to the 45-yard line, a 10-yard pickup, 3rd down and about 15. He got a chunk, but it's still 3rd and long. Yeah, JD, I hope Collins is okay too. That was a bad hit. His head going straight down on the turf there. Here comes the toss. He throws it over the right side. There's nobody there. What in the world was going on? Stroud is hit again. 4th and 15. With 9 minutes left in the 4th. Yeah, Stroud had to get rid of it. Stroud's complaining about these guys throwing the extra physicality at him, but the refs are not calling any penalties against the defense for roughing the passer. They're going for it on 4th and 15. Stroud is back. He's going to have to move out of the pocket. He's throwing it downfield. Any pass interference? Huh? None. No flags. And that's a turnover on downs. Stroud is getting rushed out of the pocket. He's getting hit. He's getting thrown around. The referees aren't calling anything. Even after he throws it, he's getting hit. Man, come on. No flags there. He was all over him on his arm. So whenever the Seahawks defenders are actually climbing on the receivers for the Texans, there's no defensive pass interference. But whenever the Seahawks receivers run into the Texans defenders, the Texans are called for pass interference. Seems fair to me. Seems fair. See you, Mr. Brian Prince. Don't don't allow people like you in my live chat or on my channel. I don't care who you are, but we're not going to take I don't take statements like that in my chat. See you. Enjoy your life. I wish you the best. But whatever it is that you do, you can't do here anymore. Yeah, you're right, Elijah. CJ needs practice and the players have to execute. But there have been now, I will say this, there have been some rushes on Stroud, but the chances that he's gotten where he actually had time to throw the ball, when you underthrow and then you overthrow, I mean that's bad. But when you combine that with the passes actually being on target and the receivers not catching them, yeah, that's no good. Ryan says, I'm starting to think MLB is going that way too, to be honest, involving players making errors and horrible pitches. Well, you think about it. There has been talk recently. It's funny you mention that, Ryan, because these micro bets that they have on these betting sites now, where you can bet on these really weird little things. Yeah, this is they're showing this earlier. Stroud getting tackled after the play, and he went down too and hit his head. Look at this. Another player goes down. Stroud hits his head and immediately grabs his head. Are you kidding me? They call nothing. So Stroud is over on the sidelines. Man, what is with this game? These refs. First and 10 for the Seahawks, and he runs right up the middle. A nice long run of almost 18 yards, but there's a flag. Might be coming back. Probably. Probably holding. Yo. Holding on the offense, that'll be 10 yards. They're going to move them back. I think they can't see you hiding over there. There we go. Glenn decided to join us.
Just for the last few minutes.
Gotcha. So it is now first at about 18. They will have first down again after that penalty. Darno in the shotgun. He's got one man in the backfield. He's going to throw it. Goes up the middle. Intercepted. Go, 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 baby, go. He's back to the 40 and almost at the 35-yard line of the Seahawks. He's pushed out of bounds. And there's a penalty. A couple of flags are tossed. They get into a little bit of a scuffle on the sidelines. It looks like somebody pulled off someone's helmet. What exactly went on there? That's the fourth turnover for the Seahawks today. Houston has barely been able to capitalize on that. I think there was a helmet pulled off on the sidelines. Stingley might have been involved. Do you understand anything that's going on in this?
Yeah, I do get to watch Gridiron occasionally at home.
Gridiron. What is gridiron? Just
American.
15-yard penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct. You can see right here. Look at this. So basically, Stingley, who intercepted the ball, just puts his hand right up in the face of the defender and shoves his helmet off. Look at the ref protecting him. Hey, you can't hurt the Seahawks players. Yeah, I'm going to block you. You're going to have to hurt me if you want to hurt him. Got to protect those soy hawks, the Seattle soy hawks. All right. 48-yard line, shotgun. They hand it right up the middle. Pick up about 6 yards, maybe 5 or 6 on first down. You can see that Houston's having a little bit of a problem here, but Seattle has turned the ball over 4 times, and Houston hasn't really been able to do too much. Here's the next play. He throws it right up the middle. Are they going to mark him close to the first down? It might be a first. We'll see. Whoa! Harris came in there and nailed him with his helmet right in the face, basically. I'm surprised he didn't get in trouble for that. They only called one penalty on Stingley. Wow, they didn't see that? That's crazy. Pass up the middle, first down. Nice 12-yard gain. Another first and 10 for the Texans. Quickly moving the ball down the field. We still got 7 minutes to go. It's a long shot, but, they can do it. Stroud throws it over the right side. Complete. Picks up about 4, and he goes out of bounds. Stops the clock. 2nd and 6. Man, why aren't they moving the ball like this early in the game? Schultz out there on the wing. Second down coming up. 2nd and 5. Almost 6.5 left in the game. Come on, you got to hurry. Here's a toss. Gonna be a flag there? No flag? Can't tackle the receiver before the ball gets there. No call. 3rd and 5. But the clock stopped. I think that you have to be in really awesome shape to play this game because it's start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. You must be in good shape. Even these guys that are really big and, you know, they might have a lot of fat on them, but you know that they have to burn a lot of calories. They probably eat a ton of food. Here's a snap, 3rd and 5. Stroud is back. He's going to throw it downfield. Here we go. In the end zone and broken up. Almost intercepted. 4th and 5. They took a shot, but he was not open. The coverage was there. Had a guy open in the corner on the left side. Yeah, this guy wasn't even on the inside. Hutchinson didn't even have the inside. The receiver on the left side didn't see who it was, but he had the angle, and Stroud didn't see it. 4th and 5. Here we go. This is probably the game right here. Stroud's going to throw it. He's got a man, and it's caught down to the 4-yard line. 1st down. 1st and goal. Why is the clock still rolling? Noel gets it. 1st and goal. Knocking at the door of a touchdown. Stroud under center. He's got, looks like maybe Marks in the backfield. He does. He goes towards the touchdown. Almost at the end zone. Yeah, almost at the end zone. I meant to say he was towards the end zone line. Right at the goal line. He almost got there. Little last shove right there. Within inches. So close. 2nd and goal with just inches. He's going to roll out. Stroud is going to throw it in the dirt. Or in the grass, in this case. 3rd and goal again. So they decide not to do the quarterback push up the middle like I would have called the last time they had a 3rd down situation. What do they do this time? What did they learn from last time? This is only their 2nd trip into the red zone today. The last time they did not get a touchdown. They had to settle for a field goal, but this time there is no settling for a field goal. You got to go for it. 4 seconds left on the clock, on the play clock. Here it comes, fakes it over the right side, and it's knocked down in the end zone. The exact same play again, a rollout to the right side by Stroud, and he throws it to a man who's covered by 2 guys, and it's knocked down. The commentator said Hutchinson was open. Well, except for the guy between him and the quarterback. You can't throw it there. You got to go over it. You can't go through the defender. 4th and goal. And now the Seahawks call timeout. 5 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the quarter. So this time, the Texans had 3 opportunities. It was, they were right there at the goal line. And on 2nd down, they had inches. They could have done a quarterback sneak 3 times. They didn't do that last time. They turned the ball over on downs. And here we are again, 4th and goal, just inches away. And what have we learned? Earlier, they had they actually had just a couple of inches that they needed to get. They had 2 downs to get it. They ran the same play twice. They lost yardage. You see how they did the same thing here? They ran the same exact play twice, and they lost. They're just inches away. What are they going to do? Stroud is under center. He's got 2 men in the backfield. Here's the snap. They're going to run it. Marks is stopped. There's whistles, though. There are flags down. It might be offsides. No, false start. It's going to be turned down, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. They do it again. Stupid play calling. That's all it is. False start. Now, my question is this something that... No, I think... No, they stopped the play, so they're going to get another play. The Texans get lucky. Even though it was a false start, they're going to get another 4th down, but they're going to be moved back 5 yards. Good news, they get another chance. Bad news, it's 6 yards from the end zone. I think the word that comes to mind right now is retarded. Timeout. Let's take a look at the chat while we're on timeout. Susan says, take out Stroud, bring in Mills so he won't get hurt. I don't even know what kind of condition Stroud is in right now. He got hit. But, you know, up until this point, he was driving just fine down the throw. Isn't it funny that after he took that hit where he hit his head on the field, he's been throwing better? Maybe it shook something loose and it fixed it. And Jay says, let's keep it respectful. Yes, that's right. I kicked out a guy earlier because he said some crappy stuff, so he's referring to that. Here we go, 4th and goal. That looked like offsides. Where's the flag? He throws it. No flags? Even Stroud is like, what are you doing? Where are the flags? That's a turnover on downs. I saw 2 problems with that play. I saw offsides on the defense, was not called. Then I saw pass interference that was not called. Let's take a look. That's offsides. Offsides. He was crossing the zone before. He was crossing the zone before that ball was snapped. That's offsides. Bad throw. Okay, so the second call was not pass interference, but that dude was offsides. That should have been plus 5 yards and another 4th down try for the Texans, but they didn't call it. No offsides. 5 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. The Seahawks have the ball. They're going to hand it off and go up the middle. Immediately caught by the Texans. He's going to get about 2 or 3 yards. He muscles forward for maybe another. Ryan says, I haven't watched basketball since I was a kid, but I'll give your streams a shot. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. You and I can start fresh together because I've never done the basketball live streams. And I'm going to be honest, I know little to nothing about. Yeah, you see? You see that? He was clearly offsides. Did you see that? Even Glenn sees it. Glenn's not an American football guy, but even he sees it. Yeah, and he's over there. They're over there celebrating. It's like, hey, all right, the refs are in our back pocket. Well, they got to give them something. Not all of Seattle can cry tonight. You know what I'm saying? Here's the toss by Darno. He goes downfield pretty deep. That's to nobody. But it'll stop the clock, so that's good. 3rd down and 7 with 4:51 left. So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, I'm going to be learning, Ryan, I'm going to be learning a lot about the Rockets. Like I said, and I told Susan this earlier, and maybe Brendan, I know almost nothing about the Houston Rockets right now. I've been studying a little bit about some of their recent moves and trades and players and stuff, but I haven't been watching NBA. Just the past few years, I've had other things on my plate. Glenn knows that. Got him in the end zone. Is it going to be a safety? Nope. He goes down at the half-yard line. Good defense there by Autry and the Texans to shut him down and almost get a safety. That would have been invaluable to get a safety. Or another strip fumble. Look at that. Last time Darno made a mistake, he went backwards and he paid for it. This time he remembered, oh, he started to go back. And he was like, oh, crap, no, that happened last time. He decides to go forward. And now it is 4th down and 15 from the half-yard line. Maybe we can block the punt. Do you think so? What if we get a block and a touchdown right here? That'd be quick and easy. Look how short that is. It's not much room. That's going to be a short punt, though. He catches it around the 45-yard line. He's bringing it back. Oh, he stumbled. Falls past the 50-yard line. So the Texans are going to start from the 49-yard line of the Seahawks. Elijah wants to know if this is the definition of insanity. Yes, that's right. Doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results, right? That's what the Texans coaches have been doing. Hey, guys, I have an idea. Now, call me crazy. But how about we do the same exact play again? They will not be expecting that. That's right. Doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome and whatnot. That's right. Fire D'Amico Ryan's garbage play calls. Or the offensive coordinator, or whoever it is that's pushing for those plays. Get somebody else in there who can make the simple foundational plays. Whoa, look at that. Throw downfield all the way to the 28-yard line. Noel grabs it, and he's smacked to the ground immediately, but that's a big gain. 1st and 10 from the Seahawks 28 with 4 minutes left. Come on. Come on. Stroud is back. He has to roll out to the right side. He throws it down the field. He's got a guy. It's a 1st down. They pick up about 13 yards. Down to the 15. It ain't over to the fat lady sings. They can still win or tie it with a touchdown and some extra point attempts, 2-point conversions. That's a incomplete pass by Stroud. 2nd down and 10. Ryan wants to know if that offsides was challengeable. Unfortunately not. If they don't make a call, you can't challenge it. Yeah. Glenn should be the refs.
Have even more reason to yell at me.
Yeah, he says there'd be even more reason to yell. All right, 2nd and 10. Stroud is back, and they stop the play with a flag. And, of course, they're going to get together and talk. What do we want to call? Hang on a second. Let me get on the Wi-Fi and check with Vegas. Yeah, false start on the Texans, of course. 5-yard penalty. 2nd and 15. Basketball is my weakest sport, too, says Elijah. Well, I wouldn't say that basketball is my weakest sport. It's just that I don't know the team like the current basketball fans do. I'm very familiar with basketball. All the rules in the game and playing the game and watching the game. I know all that. I'm not familiar with the Rockets. I am a little more familiar because I've been reading about them this week a little bit. 2nd and 15. The snap comes out just before the clock ends. He throws it over on the left side, and they're not going to go anywhere with that. He's knocked down inbounds. The clock keeps rolling. 3.5 minutes left in the 4th. Ryan says, my dad's letting me use his TV service on my phone, so I'm going to try watching hockey. I can't see the puck. It's already hard enough to see the puck on the screen, but on a phone, I can't imagine. 3rd and 16. Stroud is back. He has to roll out to the right. He's going to run. He's right up the middle. He stumbles. He's still going. Almost a 1st down, but there's a flag. It better not be holding. Oh, the flag was in the secondary around the 5-yard line. Let's see if it's a defensive penalty. Illegal contact on the defense. Added to the end of the play. How about that? Half the distance to the goal. That was a 15-yard scramble by Stroud. and then another penalty with illegal contact. Yeah, you can't push him. That was a little call, but makes up for some of the bad calls earlier. But it might be too little too late. We'll see. First and goal. At the 3-yard line. 3 minutes left. They need 2 touchdowns, and one of those needs to have a 2-point conversion. Stroud is back. He throws it to a guy. He's got a guy. Is it a touchdown? No, he drops it. Marks was right in the middle there. He tried to thread it in. Marks was not able to haul it in. That was almost 6 points. Right in his belly. Another missed opportunity. Should have caught that one. How many of those are we going to see? Ryan scored the most points in his fantasy league. Congratulations. I benched Stroud and the Texans. Sorry. It's okay. Don't worry. Hand off. Mark's on the right side and he gets stuffed. They lose a couple of yards. What are you doing? You don't have time to be running the ball like this. You got to hurry up and score. Throw the ball. What are you doing running the ball? More bad play calling. What in the world is going on with these coaches? You have no time, and you run the ball, and it keeps the clock going. What are you thinking? 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. 3rd and goal. Texans should have won this game by 2 touchdowns. Stroud is back in the shotgun. He's going to throw. He's looking for a guy. There's nobody. He has nowhere to go. He rolls out to the right. He rolls back. He throws it finally. He's got a guy in the end zone. Touchdown. Somehow, Woody Marks gets open and he's down. He looks like he's hurt a little bit. Marks is coming off the field slowly. We definitely don't need him hurt. Yeah, his hands are under it. That's catch. Yeah, they're trying to see if the touch the ground here. But he clearly kept the ball up. So, Glenn, what do you say about that one? What's your call?
That's a try. Yep.
Okay, that's a try. And the field goal is up. They go ahead and go for the extra point. They don't go for the 2-point conversion. I'm not quite sure why. I think they should have gone for 2 both times. 27-19. It took him so long to get that one right. It's only the 2nd touchdown of the game for them. Great catch by Marks. Elijah says, touchdown, but at what cost? Oh, no, not another injury. You never know. And he hit his head on the ground, too. What is it with the Texans hitting their head? That's 3 players that have hit their head on the ground and come up a little shaky. One guy was taken out earlier. He fell down on his back and his head hit the ground really hard. The quarterback, Stroud, also hit his head on the ground, and he came up slow. This guy came up slow. It's like, what's going on? Suddenly, everybody's hitting their head. Ryan says, I zoned out. Who got hurt? Marks got a little shaken up. Woody Marks. The Texans are lined up for the kickoff. Two minutes and 4 seconds left. The Texans are down by 8 points. Here's the kick. All the way into the end zone. He's going to bring it back. He's out to the 20, the 25, and he goes out of bounds at about the 29. 1 minute, 58 seconds left. 2-minute warning timeout. They're going to take a TV timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. Let's get caught up here on what's going on in the chat. And maybe we can get some insight from Glenn as to why the Texans have made so many boneheaded calls today. Let's see. Elijah says I've been out of the loop with the Rockets. Elijah says it's a respectable score now. Yeah, it's better. I did say that earlier. At the very least, even if the Texans lose, they need to come back and make it more of a respectable score. I agree with you. Ryan says I saw Mike Evans, thought it was a concussion, but he broke his clavicle. Ooh, he's going to be out for a while. That's a painful injury. The head bonk seems to knock something loose, and it's helping us. Yeah, it helped with Stroud. Stroud was underthrowing and overthrowing, and then he landed on his head. And then after that, he was just.
Clearly, he was thinking too much before then.
Yeah, that's what it was. It cleared his head. Glenn says he was thinking too much, and it cleared his head. Let's see here. Ryan says the Blue Jays clubhouse looked crazy with champagne. I bet. I hope no one has a concussion. Me too. But was it Collins? Collins is the one that was actually taken out of the game, though. He was the one. They checked him out in the tent on the sideline, and then they took him out of the game. So, anyway. So, what are your thoughts about barbecue later on? What are you thinking about having?
We have to have a steak and some burgers.
Steak and burgers, because I'm really hungry. And
yeah, you haven't eaten all day.
Yeah, I this morning I had a bowl of the German probiotic yogurt cereal, but I haven't had anything to eat other than that. But I'm really hungry, so I'm thinking that we just go to the supermarket and grab it. You want hamburgers?
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's see what they've got there.
Do you want to do like the full thing, like with the lettuce, tomato, onions, and maybe some cheese, some sliced cheese?
Well, I've got some of the cheese and
Oh yeah,
lettuce
okay.
already, so we just want to add the tomatoes and onions.
We need some hamburger buns. I'm sure they'll have some. Even at the small market, they should have some hamburger buns. Should be all right. Yeah, we're gonna barbecue outside here in the backyard. Have a little bit to eat. Tomorrow, Glenn is gonna go on a little journey to Osaka. All right, let's see what we got here. Seahawks with the ball. They're gonna try to run the clock out. They run the ball up the middle, and he gets about 3 or 4 yards. Immediately, the Texans call a timeout and stop the clock at 1:53. That is the Texans' last timeout. They can't stop the clock again. It's pretty sad that the Texans' defense have gotten 4 turnovers. And the offense has just made several bad plays. They've had individual errors, but more importantly, terrible coaching decisions. Texans easily could have won this game by at least 1 or 2 touchdowns. Here's the play. Another handoff right up the middle. They immediately take him down. He's got another 3 yards. It'll be 3rd and 4. One and a half minutes left. 20 seconds left on the play clock. It's a long shot right now. Marduk says, "Thank you for all your efforts today. Go Texans left a bunch of lobsters out." Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Thank you for that super chat. Here is the handoff, and they get him in the backfield. No, he breaks the tackle. Hurry up, take him down. Take him down. Finally, they call the play. 1 minute remaining. It's 4th down. There's a late flag coming in. Don't tell me it's an unsportsmanlike conduct. It better not be. The Texans were going to have one more chance to get the ball here. It is. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. The refs give the game to the Seahawks with a penalty. What is going on? Because he comes in and dives on the pile. Did you see that? Do you think that's a penalty?
I can't see where it comes from.
Glenn doesn't understand that penalty, neither do I. So the refs decide that number 98, who comes in and jumps on the pile to take the pile down, they decide that that is a late hit, basically. They give the Seahawks 15 yards and a first down, and all they have to do is kneel the ball and end the game. That's it. Houston is going to lose because of the referees and the penalties. Yes, Elijah says Vegas has spoken. That's absolutely true. Oh, goodness gracious. And that's how it's going to end right there. 30 seconds left. They kneel it. They don't have to run another play. 27-19. You know, if I'm not mistaken, the other day I guessed that the Seahawks would score around these points, not get to 30. That they would not be able to get to 30 points on the Texans defense. I got that right. But I also guessed that the Texans would score around 31 points. They came up shy of that. But if you look at the turnovers they got, the opportunities they had and missed, the bonehead calls by the coaches, the referees helping the Seahawks, et cetera, they very easily should have had about 12 more points. Maybe just another touchdown and a field goal. Think about how close this game was. One touchdown, one field goal, the Texans win the game. And earlier, they missed many opportunities. Throughout the game, they missed many opportunities. They're having a little interview with the Seahawks, but I don't care about that. I don't think you care about that either. Rusty says there was no need for him to jump on the pile like that. That's true, but it wasn't that aggressive. You know, it wasn't really aggressive. It wasn't, it didn't harm anybody. You know, it's not like he went running in there and just dove in and crushed everybody. You know, it was not that big of a deal. It was, to me, it was a non-call. He didn't have to call that. I think that's just my feelings. I know that you're not supposed to do that, but I think that when you just come barreling in there and you jump on people, you can injure people. But in that situation, it didn't look like it was that big of a deal. So I would have just let that go. You know. Elijah says, "Oh well, great day defense, bad day offense. Happy Mariners lost." Same here. Same here. You know, even with this win against the Texans, I think that most of Seattle will not be able to sleep really well. Most of the fans in the stands were wearing Mariners jerseys. So even though the Seahawks
Oh yeah,
won,
because they're both Seattle, aren't
that's
they?
correct. So they won, but this game doesn't matter as much to
Yeah.
them as the other one, of course. Welcome back next time for Texans. Okay. Let's see. Marduk says my Buckeyes did all right today. Smith with 8 receptions, 123 yards. Wow. And a TD, 229 yards passing. Stroud. Oh, Stroud. Okay, I see. The other Stroud. Yep, better luck next time, Texans. This game should have turned out the way I predicted, but you know, you can't account for boneheaded mistakes by individual players. Um, when the other team, when the Seahawks are about to have to kick a field goal on fourth down, and you take their quarterback and throw him down on the ground out of bounds, and you get called for it's almost exact same end play. Earlier, they stopped the Seahawks. They were going to have to kick a field goal for 3 points. It was fourth down. But whenever they pushed the quarterback out of bounds, he decided to go ahead and pick him up like and throw him down. And of course, that's a penalty. 15 yards, automatic first down. And then the Seahawks get 7 points instead of 3. A lot of little stuff happened like that. So
What you said, they didn't capitalize on the 4 turnovers.
that's right. They only gave the ball away one time, but they got the ball 4 times. What did they do? They I think they kicked a field goal on one of those. They weren't really able to capitalize on that, and they're making these stupid little mistakes, just like at the very end of the game. And the referees helped them just a little bit. So, yeah. D'Amico play calling leaves a lot to be desired. D'Amico is the coach. I agree, Marduk. I'm not a football coach, and it's easy for us to be the armchair quarterback or the armchair coach. But I think that everybody would agree that these calls on third down, actually on second down, third down, and fourth down were at the very least suspect and at worst terrible. And Kobe says we got no calls. Yeah, I didn't see any calls that we got that were unfair. Nothing was unfair towards the Seahawks, but we had several that were very important. And you combine that with the boneheaded mistakes and the bad play calling, and then of course we had a receiver go out injured. All of those things add up. So we only lost by 8 points. Even after all of that, we only lost by 8 points. It's kind of crazy. Texans running back only generated 40 yards of offense, while Stroud himself ran for 25 yards. That's bad. Yes, and 15 of those was on one rush, one run right up the middle towards the end of the game. You're right. That is bad. That's very bad. Yeah, but the thing is, it was not just the running backs though, Marduk. It was also the play calling because there was one series where they had Stroud throw it every single down and we got nothing. And we even got one of those back because the referees had played the call. They had called the play dead, but it was an incomplete pass. So we got the play back, and he threw another incomplete pass. So he wound up throwing like 4 or 5 incomplete passes in a row. They didn't even try to run the ball to get it closer to the marker. I don't know what the coaches were thinking. It's like they were smoking something. Rusty says D'Amico's calling defense. The offensive coordinator is calling the offensive plays. Yeah, that's why I said earlier. I'm not sure if it's D'Amico or if it's the offensive coordinator, but I will say this: D'Amico is the head coach, so he has to get the offensive coordinator in order if he's not calling the right plays. Because I think D'Amico is smart enough to understand that some of those offensive plays were really terrible. But yeah, close game. Should have been closer. Texans should have won. End of story. But that's pretty much it. As far as the stats are concerned, Seahawks only had 316 total yards. Texans had even less at 254. 198 yards passing for both teams exactly. Rushing yards were way down, like what was said by Marduk. Only 58 yards or 56 yards for the Texans, but then again, they didn't even run it as much as they should have. 118 for the Seahawks. Both teams played pretty poorly, but at the end of the day, 3.7 yards per play for the Texans, 4.7 for the Seahawks. Both had almost the same first downs, 18 versus 19. Third down efficiency was bad for both teams. That was really bad. Texans 2 for 15, Seahawks 2 for 14. That is absolutely hideous. Texans only went for it on fourth down one time, and I'm sorry, 4 times. They went for it 4 times. They only converted one time. The Seahawks, on the other hand, were 2 for 2 because they made right play calls. Total plays were almost the same, 69 to 67. Texans got 2 sacks. Seahawks got to Stroud 3 times. Texans punted the ball 7 freaking times. Compare that to their last game where they basically didn't punt until the very end of the game. That's crazy. Fumbles lost, Seahawks 2. Interceptions thrown, Seahawks 2. 1 interception thrown and no fumbles for the Texans. Total time of possession, and this is another problem. Even after getting the ball so many times, the Texans came out with less than 28 minutes of possession, while the Seahawks had over 32 minutes of possession. How in the world, after getting the ball back so many times, do you do that? It's because they kept having to punt the ball away. They couldn't get the ball down the field. Terrible play calling. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next game. Yes, rest up. We'll see you again soon, Marduk. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being here. Ryan says, unlike the Mariners, I'll see you in the World Series. Very nice. Absolutely. I think that game starts Thursday for you guys and Friday for me. So I'll see you there. Looking forward to that coverage. And you're welcome, Elijah. Thank you for stopping in. Everyone, thank you so much. That's all for now. And I'll see you in the Rockets game. And Glenn
Oh.
is heading to Osaka,
See
so
you
he'll
in
be gone for maybe about 10 days or so.
Yep. See you in about 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. In about 2 weeks or so. But that's all for now. Until next time. Yeah. Bye bye. And let's go.